We are live.
My gosh, we are live.
I'm gonna do the
Hello.
now. I'm gonna do the ping. Welcome to the Guangdong live stream.
We're aware that for a lot of us here, it's going to be the first time seeing New Order development content in a couple of months.
A long time, actually. I think this is the first new thing that we've put out in forever.
Ping us out. We are live streaming Guangdong at everyone.
So if you've been following us on our Discord, you'll know that this is Kuzunoha speaking. That we've been saying that we've got a fair amount complete. Obviously not fully complete, but we are excited to be able to show just some of the mechanics that we've been working on and getting that out to you guys so you can see it all come together and what a game for Shifting Tide is going to look like.
Yeah. This is on a very new build of Guangdong. It actually features fixes that I implemented about an hour ago. So this will be the most accurate view of Guangdong currently in its development that you'll get. Remember, if you have any questions, just write them down in either a Discord channel or in the Twitch chat, and we'll have our people take them out to us and curate them, and we will answer them to our best ability. Oh yes, somebody noticed that this is actually a new soundtrack. We have our beautiful composer team to actually make music for the different patches. This is what you're hearing right now is a new official theme that you'll be hearing when you launch Toolbox Theory Unfinished Business later on.
Yeah, we have a couple of composers working for us. They're all very talented, and they put out some good work.
Alright, shall we just start with playing the game?
Alright, let's hop on. Welcome to the state of Guangdong. Featuring Suzuki Teichi. I apologize now, I'm going to butcher all of these. Between Two Worlds. Cannot train units, disband units, or edit templates. We've got the finest corruption that money can buy. We are in good fiscal health. And the Tempetide networks are pervasive. Once we get in game, we'll take a closer look at those.
Yeah, they have effects, but they are all dynamic, so they can't be shown off early in the opening screen, because that's a very cool aspect of Guangdong. Everything is dynamic, basically. Everything moves, and it makes for a engaging experience. I hope so. That's at least what the testers have told me.
Alright, are we ready to start?
Alright, some people want you to turn down the music, even though we've already turned it down like twice.
Oh goodness, okay. I'll handle that once we get in game. I'm gonna hit start.
Alright.
Don't believe that I ought to quit, because I'm
Alright.
not a quitter.
So, if you all remember, there was a straw poll that we did to determine which path we were playing, and it was decisively in favor of Sony.
Sony
That's
Bros
like
stay winning.
it was like a 66% 66% for Sony and then like 20% for the others, which is like kind of depressing. I want more people to be Fujitsu build, but that's how it is. And here we have the new opening screen that people will see. in a toolbox very free unfinished business, which has been.
I think I think some people probably noted that a lot of the old screens were a bit too long. This is our way of trying to get around that. So you'll see we have tabs now, and so you know, it's actually you can actually break down a lot into these tabs. A lot of the stuff that was originally in the Guangdong Dev Diary from 6 months ago, it actually can actually fit in all this. So if you really, if you just take people through, I guess some of the top three.
Yeah.
So we
The
have
old-
a corporate experiment carved out from the Republic of China as an independent state by Japanese fiat in the Canton Protocols of 1950. The state of Guangdong is an experiment unlike any other in history, an artificial nation dedicated solely to corporate colonialism, where the Empire of Japan's other conquests in Asia, even its most artificial child, the Empire of Manchuria, pay lip service to the co-prosperity sphere's vision of Pan-Asianism. Guangdong stands alone in its devotion to the yen under the whim of its 4 companies: Sony Bros. Winning, Matsushita, Electric, Fujitsu, and Yatsuda. Through a combination of neglect from Tokyo and the reckless ambition of its tycoons, Guangdong has become a place in the sphere where pretenses fall away in favor of naked greed and the pursuit of profit. But all is not well inside the world's only bastion of unchecked capitalism.
Yeah, we aren't gonna read them all. Some more people want you to like move your mic volume up, Lilian, if that's possible.
I don't know if that's possible.
Damn.
I'll talk louder.
Awesome.
He's gonna be shouting. Okay,
Alright,
we'll take a couple through. Get the people unmoored.
you don't need to read it all, just scroll through it.
Drift in Asia, we have the cast of characters.
I mean, all of these are the 4 companies, and as you might have gathered, they won't stay 4 throughout the game, but it's in everyone's interest to stay as tightly linked to these characters as you can. They will be coming up again, and you'll be dealing with these people throughout the entire game. Got a lot of log planned up for that, and we'll hopefully be able to read out some of it on the stream.
I completely forgot that we actually had like a channel for streams, not for like, unlike the public server. That's hilarious actually. Give me a moment. Alright, there, it's open now.
Okay. There's this Gaiyao. I apologize now for any butchering of the language that I do.
No, your Gaia was on point.
Yes. Alright. Oh, zoom in. This is where Tita's time to shine. We've added some special unit models for Guangdong, where they more so represent the different the police of Guangdong, where they have shorts and everything, because Guangdong doesn't have a formal army. It has 6 police regiments, and then you can press on the tank division. That's a special that's a Japanese garrison in Guangdong. It also has a very funky division template. Press on the template and then you can see. Alright. There. I love it. It's so
powerful Guangdong Army Division.
yes.
It's
Alright.
a very thick division.
See, very huge. It's also like the only official army that's actually in Guangdong. The rest is just light infantry.
44 combat width, incredible. Right.
Alright. Alright. There are demands for you to lower the game sound.
Oh my god. Your ears are dying. They should be.
Yeah, turn down the mass volume like what, 40 to 50%. This is our stream after all, not the fucking Hard Siren 4 bass volume just blasting our ears.
Is this more acceptable to Twitch chat?
Let's hope so.
There is a question about whether there are triads. Yes, there are. We'll be getting that as soon as we complete a couple foci, actually, so stay tuned.
There will also be a video on demand of the stream, which will be posted to our YouTube channel shortly after we're done. Alright, you can assign your production units. Seem like they already are. That's very convenient.
In my research?
Don't worry too much about it.
Oh yeah, we've changed the research trees for TT3 a bit. Now there's like a infantry kit and everything, and also more anti-air options.
Research. Prisons and hospitals, that should be good. Right. So should we go over this screen a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure.
Alright, so we are between two worlds here, so we have some more stats here. Our stability and war support is very low, since we kind of only sort of exist. Very tenuous position that Guangdong finds itself in 1962. Very corrupt, lots of corruption.
There's a mechanic for that. We'll show you that.
China likes us a little bit less. Empathize all up in our business. Some interesting stats here. We'll take a look at that in a second.
Yeah, that 1 IJ division being stronger than the 6 police is not just for show.
And, you know, we're in good fiscal health. Our credit rating's good. Inflation rate is down. Political power, great. How much political power are we making? 124. That's going to change in a second.
Yeah, you can actually show the economy screen. Guangdong has some quirks that makes the economy screen special. Most of all is the fact that sliders are completely unchecked for Guangdong. You can spend 0 or 100% of the sliders. Is to show that the Guangdong, the Guangdong economy is unlimited, unrestricted. Also, I don't know why it says it's a corporate oligopoly with a Coca-Cola logo, and also the centralization bar is broken. Let's just ignore that for now.
Yeah, this is hot code, as the Paradox devs like to call it.
Yes.
I'm spending nothing. Holy moly.
Well, I remember when one of the people who tested it, Jake Sakarat, he always had the bars at 100% because he wanted to GDP growth max all the time. So he did like deficit suspended his entire economy. It was awesome.
This is as much as I can spend, and I'm only not even close to the real GDP growth.
It's badass. All right, we have our. You don't need to look at the ministers. Just pick a focus actually. Oh, the Guangdong focus tree. Very big. Very intricate.
Should I read out the lock here, or should I let them suffer?
Let them suffer. They have a VOD if they want to read.
Just do this for the VOD. You can pause it later.
There's still more people that are angry at the game sound. You need to like pull it down to like 10% or something. It's insane. Also, the chats are demanding that you cut the taxes.
Cut the taxes?
Apparently.
Okay, now I can barely hear it, but if Twitch chat is happy, there's my taxes. I do this for you.
Awesome. I love growth.
No taxes in Guangdong. Okay, are we ready to start?
Yeah, while the game is running, you can show off the other parts of the politics screen.
Probably from Sony audios and radios or anything.
What was that?
No, the profits for Sony stuff will make up the difference for your taxes.
Okay. Alright, so we're gonna... I think what we really need are some prisons. I think that's what
You need to build like infrastructure if you want maximum GDP growth, but you know what? I can also respect that.
True. We also do need prisons. We can't have the Chinese getting uppity here.
True.
Alright. So this event we have here, it's talking about the Legislative Council.
It's talking about the Lego. It's talking about what politics looks like in Guangdong, and no surprise, it's all companies. What it may have started in Guangdong's 90 world. By 1962, your loyalty is bought. And even if the membership of the Legislative Council doesn't change all that much, their loyalties do. And so we've got a mechanic dedicated to tracking that and working around that through the legislation you pass. you'll see a little bit of the legislation action in this tree. It's meant to help ease the player in, but we'll get into that in about probably 30 minutes.
Each of these has its own little overview. It's very cool.
I'm very proud of the legislative history. We made some background law to some different bills that people wanted to pass. And you can see how well they went.
Not all of them passed. All these 4 passed. See, local business, better legal access? Nope, fuck that shit.
I love racism. It's awesome.
Alright. There's gonna be a whole bunch of events coming up.
Yeah. All right, you can look over the ministers if you want to. Those are some of the different tycoons of Guangdong. You have the Matsusawa Takuchi. He's the Yasuda representative of Guangdong. He gives you some extra business taxes. That's awesome. You have the tycoon who's leading Fujitsu, Ibuka Masaru. My guy, my beloved. He's great. And then you have the leader from Matsushita Electric, Matsushita Masaharu. And the last guy is the Kempetai representative of Guangdong. Yeah. Make sure that the Chinese don't get a bit too uppity in the country.
Yeah, and this is an event for the Chinese, actually. Reading these events out is going to take time, but I think we can just keep it on for a couple seconds longer while we address some of the questions that came in through the repository. Just from a question from Blessed Feline, religious policy set as state religion. State religion, at least through the Empire of Japan and its occupied territories, was in theory supposed to be, I guess, transplantation of state Shinto. This was addressed in Reddit a while ago, but just because it's a state religion doesn't mean it's enforced all that well, especially outside Japan's direct colonies in Korea and Taiwan. So it's there, doesn't mean anyone follows it.
Yeah, the policy effectiveness, it's not super effective. It's only at 34%. Should I turn on the day-night cycle and really make Twitch chat mad at me?
No, please don't. I hate it. It lags the game so much. Alright, that was the first month of Guangdong, and you've just unlocked a new GUI. We can look at that if you want to. Welcome to the different regions of Guangdong.
Oh god, Hitler, just shut up, go away.
Nobody likes you. This is Asia's time to shine.
Right, so we have, these are the regions of Guangdong. Each one, this is a really cool GUI. It's very interactive. You have each of these, the 3 pearls, and you have these outer regions here. And you can see here we have demographic screen of the Chinese, the Zujin, which is a sort of mix of Japanese and Chinese culture, and then the Japanese expats. And in each one you can get a breakdown of the demographics of each region. You also have... Go ahead.
Talking about demographics, a lot of people are asking about the state religion of Guangdong, Kuzunoha. Can you try to explain that a bit?
Yeah, I think we just explained that a bit. It's state Shinto, or at least the attempt to try towards some sort of partially pushed attempt for Japanization in overseas colonies. Whether that actually took is a very different question. Outside of Japan's core colonies, there's not a lot of historical evidence that actually succeeded at all that much, and certainly not in Guangdong, where religion is really somewhat debased in favor of currency. So it's there, but it's not effective. There has been some thought about what goes into religion in Guangdong and spirituality, but that's not something that's going to be modeled into the game mechanic.
Right.
Thank you for that.
So when I click on these too, I also have further interactions in each region, so it gives me some things. Let's modernize the Macau police units.
Awesome.
And I think that gets right to the heart of another one of the questions. Yeah, organized crime, the police, the Kempetai, all of them exist. And actually, if you hover over one of the regions, you can actually see some of the bonuses that come from a region having control, right? Corruption, government support. So it kind of plays into the demographics and corruption gain. A lot of these things will be taking place in the background. Big decisions will be made primarily through focus, but you can take action at the margin. And if you go to the bottom of the mid text, control of Guangdong states, that actually is somewhat important. And who controls the most amount of states in Guangdong, or who you ally with in the underworld, can give you more benefits later down the line. At the start of the game, it's pretty hard to get much out of this because political power is at a premium. You'll see that shortly. But that's something we will be exploring as the trees go on, and that's something we've already been receiving feedback on and testing.
All right. I've also seen that some people have a bit of complaints about not being able to read some things. That's because the stream is apparently sourced to 720p, and I don't know how to fix that. So I'm sorry.
Just get better eyes, honestly.
Literally.
Okay, we're full of clues.
A lot
here.
of these events are actually in the Guangdong Depth Diary, so you will see some first. Not all of them. There have been some additions. We can try to highlight some of them as they come up, and they will actually answer some of the questions that have been coming up here, such as what is a Jujin? That's a big question and something that we do address. So I'll flag that event when it pops up.
Alright, we have the 1962 Tokyo meetings coming up. Another year, another meeting.
All right. Some people actually ask, what is a sujin exactly?
Here we have corrupt cops. So even if the police control things, doesn't quite get rid of the corruption in Guangdong.
I will answer. Apologies, my connection is awful. Jujin is both an economic signifier and somewhat cultural. It originally would refer to a lot of the local collaborators, Chinese collaborators who work with the Japanese and helped establish or support the creation of Guangdong in the 1950s. By the 1962, it can catch-all term for people who speak Japanese and are not strictly part of the, I guess, blue-collar economy in Guangdong. It's the price of doing business in Guangdong. It's at this point, 20 years after the end of the war. What is collaboration to an unhappy extent? It's and that these makes them. It makes it easy to be the Japanese. It makes them despised by because collaborating. They have forward.
Yeah, we apologize a bit for the internet quality, but we are actually we are literally in this voice chat from 3 different continents. I'm from Europe, Kuzunoha is in Asia, and Lilian is in the US. That's just a bit about where everything is with Guangdong. All right.
Alright, so the Tokyo meetings have been concluded, or they're happening now. So every year, tens of thousands of shareholders in the Japanese mainland expect their investments in Guangdong to make a return. We're going to start the 4 companies, and we're going to look. Oh, we have another 2 GUIs.
Yes, we have one that's the different issues with the Chinese, the Republic of China, the Empire of Japan, and corruption. You can if you hover over them a bit, you can actually see the different effects they give you.
Right, so we're about 50% corrupt. China likes us a little bit, but can only like us up to this much. Japan's pretty happy with me so far. Their maximum approval is 100%, and their approval currently is 75%. And we can do different things to deal with approval and corruption in our opinions. We also have the Miracle on the Pearl River. You want to talk about that briefly?
Okay, so annually, Guangdong wants to reach a specific economic goal because they have a bunch of mad people in the Tokyo Stock Exchange who expect you to make some big money. We also have some tooltips to actually show that if you want to hover the info box. So, and Guangdong, it's like the little brother in the Manchukuo Guangdong relationship, and yeah, they want to outgrow Manchukuo. That's a big goal for a lot of people in Guangdong. shows that they've like overcome the older brother who has been taunting Guangdong for so long. So you have these three charts. You have a chart that shows Manchukuo's economic statistics, Guangdong's economic statistics, and the target that you've been set to either reach the goal annually, as this will be an annual check to see if you actually reach the goal, and or if like you go to the debt to GDP chart, it'll show the different levels that you need to maintain your fiscal health. If you like go over that line, the white line, your fiscal health will deteriorate, and you'll get another national spirit. Also, the if you think that the UI is too small, first of all, it's work in progress. We could probably improve it later. And second of all, there is a UI scaling in the TNO. If you could actually try to like do UI scaling a bit, because I do see what they mean with it being a bit small. It should be in the settings.
It's gonna require a restart, I think.
Well, all right, we can just be right back. Try to move it like to 1.25 or 1.5. Wait, UI scaling fucks up the shaders. Well, that's mildly annoying. Can you? Okay, how do I? All right, I need to think about this for a second. How do we want to approach this? Do we want to continue playing as this, or do we want to like try and fix the settings? You decide. Can you try and like drop the resolution to the resolution of the game to 1080p? That'll make people happier.
Yeah, I can do that.
You need to move to like. Oh yeah, I see. That's because that's the issue. Move it to full screen 1080p. Awesome.
Alright, so
Alright.
require a restart.
Did you save? Have you saved the game?
Saving it.
Alright, was the UI scaling set to 1.0?
Yes.
Alright, awesome. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's for the better. It's for to better the stream.
We are full of clues here.
Full. Alright. What do I need? Okay, I'm gonna talk. You know what? Let's just bring in the. Can we bring in A9? Is he on?
Let's get in. Let's get in on. Yeah, right. Good time to get that while we figure this out.
Alright, it looks like they aren't here. They aren't here temporarily. That's awesome. Alright. Oh, never mind. They are here. Awesome. So explain who you are and explain what's your purpose today.
Today? Well, I was going to hop in a little bit later, you know what for, but I can always hop back in when we get round to that, or do you think I should cover anything else now whilst we're waiting?
Just talk about what you do and what special purpose you have here for today. Might as well drop the announcement while it's hot.
Well, aside from seeing people actually liking all of the darn tech art stuff we've spent a long time working on, God, where do I even start? I ain't much of a speaker. Oh, fuck. Let's see. Yeah, we've been putting a lot of work into overhaul the tech system for the common updates, which is the stuff we posted as a teaser a few minutes ago. The stuff you've been showing off, that's all in the next update, along with we've got vehicle revamps in the works, and then also a doctrine overhaul and industry stuff that's also in planning, and we're going to see if we can fit it in, but wouldn't want to delay anything If not, it'll be in the next update. But to support all of that, we really need to try and get some more manpower in, because there's only a few of us and a whole lot of stuff. So, Lily, I think that's where you come into this, if we might as well drop the announcement now.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit busy. If you, oh wait, can you actually do it?
Maybe. Let's
I'm
see.
gonna go get some water. My throat is burning.
Oh my god, he's dying.
He's
Okay,
actually dying. Hilarious.
So,
Yes, please get some water.
please get some water. Okay. Let me just get this announcement ready. So we are doing a new CRT art contest featuring you guys, and we are going to... It's going to be running for 2 weeks, and winning submissions can even be considered for inclusion in the mod. Let me get the form and the... I just had it. Let me find it. Form and an example.
While we're waiting for the forum to come on, I can answer 2 questions that came out. How long does Guangdong content last? It will last until around 1972. It's a full 10 years of gameplay, and we are already testing up to set 1970. Not everything is finished, and there are elements that we are not showing now, but we are already requesting tests up to that point. As for how many events does Guangdong have? We
I
now
can-
have we now have the heaviest localization file in the entire game. Obviously, that could change as the Italies, in particular, continue development. But right now, yeah, we have the most, and it's only going to go up.
Currently looking at the Guangdong files, I can tell you that Guangdong has a total of 1,450 implemented events, and there will probably be around 500 to 600 more. That's an overshoot. Well, Guangdong will probably end in a comfortable zone of about 1,800 to 2,000 events when it's ready for release.
Not for nothing do we refer to it internally as a visual novel with interface.
Alright, so here's the announcement, the form, and some basic guidelines. So take a look at those. The contest will be running for 2 weeks. So make sure you get in before then.
To tell you what constituting the largest localization file in TNO inhabits, Guangdong currently has 2.4 million characters of writing.
I have looked over my files, and I think I've comfortably written probably a novel for Guangdong at this point.
So
there are
awesome.
there are several novels worth of writing in there, and we do hope you like them.
If you want to help with Guangdong, joining the tech art team will do a great job. Having a consistent art style is actually one of the things that I cherish a lot about Guangdong. One of the things that makes me very happy to work on them. But to achieve this, we also whip the tech artists to do a lot of work for us, and I can testify how how much they have to do. But it makes for a very uplifting and great experience.
Alright, and we are back. Oh boy, that is not quite right.
That was awesome.
Are we back?
All right, wait, it doesn't fucking cover the entire screen. That's awesome.
It's okay. We're full of clues here, guys.
Full of clues. This is fucking hellish.
How do I fix
Another
this?
person was asking in the stream, what's the symbolism behind the flowers and the designs for the demographic groups? And for Japan and China, that's pretty easy. For Japan, it's the chrysanthemum seal, which is the seal of the imperial family, and you'll see it, on a Japanese passport if you look one up online. For China, it is the white sun, for that is used in the Republic of China flag. For the Jujin, that's a little different. It is the design of the Bauhinia, which is the flower for Hong Kong, and the specific design is actually the Bauhinia design for the urban councils, local, I guess, local administrative units in British Hong Kong in the 1970s. And the Bauhinia is particularly, if you look it up online, actually, it's a sterile flower. It is a crossbreed and a sterile flower that does not reproduce naturally. So that you can, any botanist on the chat can correct me if I'm wrong on this. But considering what the Jujin are in TNO, it's not a wrong comparison, we feel, for having that
Alright.
particular flower
Alright.
represent.
How the hell did we get more viewers when we weren't streaming the game?
It's fine.
What the hell is going on? Oh wait,
So now, is this better for Twitch chat? Or are
yeah,
we
that's a lot better. That's
satisfied?
actually a lot better. Damn. The stream is still sourced to 720p, but this is at least livable.
Oh, goodness.
Truthful.
Beautiful. We are full of clues today. Okay.
Wait, where did your economy go? Why is that? Oh, it's because of the production units.
I
Troll
love my
face.
economy. Where is my economy?
You don't want your debt to GDP to get bloated as Guangdong because a bad fiscal health will really screw you over.
There we go. This way we still have the 8... Oh, Jesus. Mini events.
Yes, if you let the go, if Guangdong is supposed to be played relatively slowly and with a lot of pausing because of the heavy writing that needed to like immerse yourself. You can remove all the events now if you want to.
Did we mention this has 2,000 events? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, this one's important. In 20 days, the corporations will present their projects for consideration.
It really pains me that you aren't like pausing to read the events because it ruins the timing that I've like meticulously calculated.
I thought I wasn't supposed to pause to read them. Okay. This is
Bro.
the most organized TNO dev stream.
This is the good one. Also the marketing options. You can get the arms market UI, which is sadly very work in progress right now, but it has the coolest fucking opening animation of anything in the mod.
Alright, let's
Okay,
take a look at it.
yeah, look at this. This is beautiful. I fucking love this so much. Guangdong law.
Alright, so this is where we sell guns to people, right, I think?
Yeah, but it's broken right now, so don't interact with it.
Okay.
It is not fully functional, but it does work
Alright.
to a point.
And now we have this product testing group. What's this, since I skipped over the event?
Alright. Aina can either explain or I'll do it. It seems like he's responding, I'll do it. Alright, the product testing group is a special arm of the Guangdong engineer and science teams who make weapons that they can sell because arms dealing is very profitable, especially if it's high-end arms dealing. But you can't just make a gun and sell it because it probably wouldn't work because they are very maintenance and functionality reliant. So if you want to make a gun that works, you need to test it. And where better to test it than the Japanese proxy conflicts? So you can both be of great help for the co-prosperity sphere and also, I don't know, fucking
Make a lot of money.
Make some
make a
really
lot of money.
stupid- Oh wow, we have 3 answers for that. Make a lot of money, yes, but also do a lot of stupid decisions because the people driving this testing aren't soldiers; they're eggheads. We'll get to that when the PTRG gets going. We'll get to that in a bit, but
Yeah.
you'll see we've kind of flipped regular gameplay on its head.
Yeah, something that the Guangdong I'm very proud of Guangdong is how it gradually introduces GUIs. As you can see with the new focus that you've just got, the 4 companies that will introduce the product cycle GUI. So you went from having nothing on the start to having like an
All right,
entire
this one.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll introduce them, but this event is probably what is going to help introduce most people to who they are, right? Like who the main characters for Guangdong are. So
It's also very cool that they
event
pick.
here- Yeah. So not only does this event here, which you can find, this is available on the Dev Diary, Tycoons of Guangdong, is going to showcase how a lot of the executives aren't too happy with Suzuki Teiichi, who is the Tokyo's vice trying to impose his will on them. They're all playing nice because as much as Ibuka Masaru for Fujitsu, Matsushita Masaharu for Matsushita, and Moridakio are chafing at the bit under this. Suzuki has Yasuda's backing, and Yasuda is the only Zaibatsu proper in Guangdong, and they're extraordinarily powerful. So that's what keeps everyone in line for now, especially when people have other things that need to be doing, like making money, which is the product cycle GUI. OP, could you take people through that?
Yes, of course. The product cycle, it's a annually occurring event where you have to sell a product. It's currently closed, it lies dormant until action happens. And there's different fields of research. You have audio, video, household electronics, data storage, computational power, and power efficiency. Each of these will help the state of Guangdong in each of a unique way, and will also benefit a company, except for data storage. No, it gives you political power instead. That's because there's 4 electronics companies and 5 research, and I did not think that through when I implemented that. There's also a history, the little book right there, where you can see the history of earlier products that have gone through the product cycle, and it will be continually added upon as you push more products. Each of these products actually are not even based on, they're actual real life products that the different companies that sell, and it's such a cool piece of flavor. I love it. It's great. But yeah, you use the product cycle to make money, to accelerate your growth, to get your economy goal, so that you can be stronger in the Lecco and push your agenda forward. Another example of Guangdong being a very dynamic country. You can say that Guangdong has shifting tides.
Shifting
How
tides.
do we?
I mean,
can we
it-
mute Opie?
What?
Okay, let's keep going.
All right.
So we have 4 different options to go for here.
Head
Yes.
for product development, that actually helps start the product cycle early, actually. So
But
it's probably the
you
best
can
way to do
also
it.
ignore doing it. It gives you research which will help you, but you need political power to do product cycle. So it's a question, but it will give you more time to grow before the next econ goal. So there's like a lot of variables at play here, both figuratively and literally.
We're gonna start with the product development, I think. I'm gonna get this started early.
All right. All right.
It's also
So
always- oh, go on.
all right. I'm gonna try and see if I can get some of the TT3 people on the stream so that they can so they can explain a bit about TT3, because if you haven't seen, we're playing on a modified version of TT3, a bit of an older build, because we merged different branches into each other, which can be seen by the fact that if you go to Italy, there isn't an Elantropad.
Whoa!
Right.
Look at that.
All right, I'm gonna.
Italy got
All right.
trim.
A-Night, if you could gracefully take your leave, then we can cycle in some new guests on.
Alright.
See ya.
Okay, call me back in when Malaya happens. Alright, have a nice one.
All right, that was awesome.
God, Italy went on a diet.
All right.
Italy's looking good. Nice and slim.
All right,
Oh.
introduce yourself.
How are you all doing? I'm here with. Well, let me mute this stream 1 second. There we go. So, I am the TD3 code lead with Scars and Fedaki. I'm also the deputy code lead in TNO overall, and also the Mexico team lead. So as you can see, we are playing a modified version of TT3. It's actually really outdated. Like I just checked, it's 3 months old, about 3 months old. So it's missing a bunch of.
It's only 3 weeks.
Are you sure it's 3 weeks? Because
Yeah,
I just checked in. I checked in the Git, and it says like the last
It
one
is
was
actually
3 months ago.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 3
But-
weeks.
Oh, that's pretty weird, but yeah, okay. It's not as outdated as I thought then.
Also,
But-
yes, it's. Hi. Yeah. So I'm Scars. I am, as Mr. Oveja here has said, I am one of the co-TLs for TT3, or I'd rather call it unfinished business, honestly. And yeah, that's basically pretty much it. I hope you have fun, and I'll answer some of your questions when we go in the stream.
All right. Look at
Yeah,
this cool
so-
animation real quick. Though. It like slides in from the right. I love that.
Oh,
I love the
yeah.
That's
animation.
pretty cool. Very cool.
All right.
Yes.
So we have some good ideas for guns here.
You know, I think this is one of the most like overly complicated thing I see. Although it's like just 3 buttons.
It's great.
This is also
What
made by
is
the same
Guangdong
guy
if
that made the
not?
animation.
Yeah, what is Guangdong if not overly complicated, and somehow we need a way to make it work?
So,
Yeah, this was made by the the same person that made the animation that you saw earlier.
So here
So,
we
yeah.
have some really good ideas for new guns. So here we have an experimental rifle with new night vision technology, which also features like a 50-pound backpack. Here we have a new gun, which has a whole new ammunition, which is less effective than actual bullets and will require a whole new production line.
I love logistics.
And we have Sony, which is trying to solve a logistical problem that doesn't exist, where it can fit both guns. It can fit both cartridges.
Alright, as we're playing Sony, it will of course make the most sense to subsidize Sony.
We can market it to widespread potential demographics. So we're going for Sony. Got the Sony
Alright.
experimental rifle.
Oh wow, okay. That's a very good icon.
The PCRG is a bit of work in progress, but it works. It also has a very special division template with its own unique the types of divisions. It has the PCRG experimental infantry, right, and the research. This R&D support company helps check that you actually do the research stuff.
So
Yeah, you see, you have that little like flask on the top right.
we are gonna send these bad boys. I think we can now.
Yeah.
Yep, you can send him in.
All right.
Let him rip.
All right. It's A Knight. Welcome back. He will explain a bit about what the PCRG is about and how it works.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of the graphics are going to be a little on the finicky side, just because of the git merge, the different branches mashing together to do the stream. Since
this
the
is-
entire thing's GFX sorted in the actual, I'm sure we'll fix it. Yeah, this is just the first of multiple planned deployments across the length of the game. So you can expect to see more and fancier technology being tested as the game progresses. And we're trying to experiment with what we can actually do with it, you know?
Alright, so here we have some research objectives. Our objective isn't necessarily to win the war. Right?
Yeah. You can get a good gun, but you can also lose the war, which is hilarious. Love arms profiteering.
So our goal is just to test the gun and make sure it works in different scenarios. So we have to do river crossings, urban combat, conditions exceeding 25 degrees Celsius, jungle environments, and mountainous conditions.
You basically have to throw your men into the worst conditions imaginable and have them fight there for longer than you might ideally like.
We also have,
That's okay.
we
You get
also-
nice things out of it.
we also
It's for
have a
science.
unique model here for the research division. Unlike the police officers, we have actual soldiers wearing shorts. And over here, Yasuda is they're-
Having a bit of a suspicious moment where
they're a bit
Suzuki Teichi
sus.
goes out to buy some smokes and overhears an unhappy conversation about the military yen.
What
Sure,
the
all
hell is
you
this
know
guy
what
doing
that's
here?
about,
We're
but
gonna get
what's
some
that doing?
jungle fighting. Oh, is that urban? That's urban. We're gonna get some urban fighting, even better.
Hopefully everything works smooth. I don't know if the sudden branch merge is going to mess anything up. On the actual thing, we've been testing it and it's surprisingly balanced.
Oh no, we didn't merge it. OP committed. Reverse the commit.
I see.
So as you
This
see
is a
here,
pretty outdated.
we're going up. The conditions, we successfully tested rifles in urban combat, and we've successfully used equipment in conditions exceeding 25 degrees. We also took
I'm
the
surprised
city.
we were able to get urban that quickly. That's actually usually one of the things I have to give last when we're doing the mad dash. Or
I think we
Yeah.
I think we reduced the requirements for getting them, because remember, like all of those people were complaining about how it took like 20 years to get the things going up.
Yeah,
When
balance
Malaya
was a little
last saw, like,
tricky to nail
20.
down, but once it's there, it's pretty good. Yeah, I love the 3D models. Our 3D guys are absolute legends, and some of the other stuff they made for the later BTRG deployments are, well, there's something I can't show it yet, but it's going to be great when we can.
Alright, so now
Shall
that
see.
we've started coordinating product development, we're going to identify the breakthroughs. We're going to keep going on this little branch here. We also now have the ability to focus on different types of research.
Oh, here comes the buttons.
The buttons come when the big what's it called? Yeah, the products actually
Products
happen.
are actually done, which will be
Oh,
2 foci ahead.
Alright, if you want to look at the different effects the different research have, you will realize that audio and video will be directly beneficial to Sony's product profitability, because Sony loves their radios and stuff, and the Sony Walkman, which is actually featured in the icon. So you will want to prioritize that if you want to have a successful Sony game.
Has it loaded yet? Has the product loaded yet?
No, it
Not
only
yet.
was after UFO.
Oh, okay.
I love that with all these Guangdong products, Mexico actually acts as a sort of intermediary with the United States because of the entire trade embargo with Sphere. So Mexico actually gets a favorable position when it comes to trade because it acts as a hub for all these new products coming from the East.
Yeah. Mexico is gonna be a very cool when it's gonna be released. I'm actually very hyped for it. Looks great.
Alright, well I see a good tile here that I can get some jungle. Oh, that's not jungle. I can get some river crossing combat.
Yes, let's march our soldiers across a river for no other reason than because, their deaths are a necessary sacrifice for science.
Yeah.
Or science. I mean,
Science.
technically it's for money, but yeah, science.
Science and money. The both.
No, money and science.
Oh, true.
Prioritize the money
In that order.
in
There's
that
a real
order, yeah.
funny, it's a real funny case in the testing where we found some people they would guess an opening where you could potentially win the war, and they just wouldn't do it because they wanted to try and get more money out of it instead.
Great.
That's the end result you want.
Isn't
It's great to see
that the
that.
point of war profiteering?
Yes. Yes, it is. Alright, if you're running out of guns, you can press the decision to manufacture additional testing rifles.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that
you
is.
You can pour more money into an expensive, overambitious R&D project. What's the worst that can happen?
Also, the thing is only 8 with.
It's fine.
Normally we have a nice icon there, so we'll fix that.
Oh, yeah,
You
something
do
that
have the
somebody
option
is
to
asking in
end
chat.
deployment early, but, up to you on whether you decide the trade-off of lives, money, and science is worth it.
Someone asked in chat if helicopters serve a purpose. Right now, they act as a support company. It's still very useful. Though in TD3 we are adding new doctrines, landed doctrines for most tags in general. Like it's going to be a much more expanded doctrine tree, not based on the vanilla one.
Yeah, it's not linear anymore. You have a lot of
Yeah.
like branches and stuff like that. Basically,
can-
national focus in the doctrine tab.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. And so if you want to focus on helicopters, I'm pretty sure that's one thing you can do. Right now, it's not in the version that we're playing because we are barely implementing it at the moment. Same same thing with the tech, with a few tech overhauls that we're doing. Like for example, we are touching up the civilian tech. Building
Oh, hey, here
tech.
it is. Here it is.
Yes. Oh, here we go.
Here we
I'll
go.
make all the
Alright.
icons for these. God, there's a lot of them overall.
So, we have portable. We can subsidize Sony, Matsushita, Fujitsu, or a new player that will enter the field of consumer electronics. Oh, I wonder who they could be.
Wow, it might not. It might be that we might have pushed them to an at everyone ping 8 days ago, and they might be named Hitachi Limited,
Whoa.
a subsidiary of Nissan from Manchukuo.
What a twist.
Alright, but the votes, the people of the Legislative Council have spoken, and we are subsidizing Sony.
For this time, we appreciate democracy.
Democracy where we had a couple more people voting more than once.
Yeah. It's still democracy, though. You can't deny that.
It's okay, you can buy your vote at Guangdong.
True.
Okay, so we're gonna subsidize the launch here. So, need to make some trucks. Apparently I haven't been making trucks.
Oh, yeah, ignore
okay.
it's TC3, it's work in progress.
It's okay, don't worry about it.
Hot code.
As we have mentioned a couple of times before, yeah, we are running on a version of TT3. It's a little bit outdated, so in order to like make everything stable for the stream, we decided to not merge it.
Though,
Here's a question for you all. So we've tried to track some things down with Yasuda and the military yen. Do you trust Yasuda right now?
I think I do. I think Yasuda is gonna stay strong. I don't think anything bad is gonna happen to them.
Yasuda sweep.
There's-
Yasuda will
Yeah,
all
yeah.
survive.
Yeah.
Too big to
I
fail.
get
Too big to
it.
fail. No,
All
it's
right, we'll take the first
Yeah,
option.
let's do it.
Let's not
do
bite
it.
the hand that feeds us.
all right.
Yeah.
And I see a nice mountain to throw my soldiers at.
Alright, I was actually when we started the stream, I was scared that we would have that we would be over too quickly. But now I've realized that we have passed 1 hour almost, and we have only in April 1962.
Oh, I got kicked
The
out of
first
the
couple of
mountain.
months take a while in this game. I've
Yeah.
tested it a couple times going into this, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
it
do.
can
You
be
do
a
have.
lot.
I remember when the test that I was talking about before, Jake Sakarat, he tested Guangdong to 1970. His test took a total of 18 hours for 8 years of gameplay, mostly because, one, the Hearts of Iron 4 doesn't exactly run the best after those step back, and two, there's a lot of reading you have to do if you want to play Guangdong. So if you are stretching it out and playing all 4 paths, you could technically get 100 hours of playtime from Guangdong, which
Wow.
is insane. I wouldn't recommend anyone do that, but it would make me very happy.
So,
Yeah.
good thing is that Yasuda, at least in Guangdong, doesn't seem to be locked into anything weird, and they're not appreciating you not saying anything. The bad thing is, something's up, and your Yasuda guy in Guangdong doesn't know anything about it. That's also a problem, but I guess we'll figure out what exactly that means.
Save your organization before
Oh,
attacking.
what is
hurts
that
me.
thing at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, I love bug unit models. They're awesome. It's like a cube.
We're gonna ignore it.
It's like the standard. This unit does not exist. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh no, my mountain's gone. Okay.
Oh, I think they're gonna take the capital. Oh, yep. Oh, yep.
Wait, you
Oh,
can
there's
stall,
one
you
second.
can stall the wall. You can stall the wall if the Japanese stop attacking. They're gonna like move to this other mountain right next to it. And maybe you can get some there.
Come on, move over there. Move over there. Get over. No!
No,
Damn
it's so
you.
sad.
Attack
Winning
me.
is bad for business. Yes, basically.
Oh, he's retreating into the tile.
No, the Japanese are running after them. They're hot on the heels. Oh yeah,
Oh.
it's like unique events for all of the different products when you're done with them. And for the first 4 products for 1962, there's also unique
Have you
events
not
for them.
been managing the product?
Well, you can just start it now. It's the
Oh,
it's
yeah,
actually just
okay,
unlocking right in time.
Alright, the 4th electronics conglomerate of Guangdong is the Nissan subsidiary of Hitachi. Oh, who would have known? Okay. So let's take a look at what we're subsidizing here.
I love radios.
Ta-da! Oh
Got
my,
the
that tech art
TC
though. Oh yeah.
982A home audio system.
All the colors. I love how exorbitant Guangdong is with color usage. It makes me very happy.
It's neon.
It's pretty shit right now. It's underperforming. There's no interest, no target market focus, but you know, we're above average in profitability here. So let's take a look.
We can do better than that.
We can do
Oh
better
yeah,
than
the
that.
buttons. The buttons.
You can, if you want to like show how ridiculously oversized the Guangdong decision menus can get, just show off the buttons and like try scrolling through it. And this isn't even the largest decision category in Guangdong. The
Alright.
buttons.
Buttons.
Many buttons. Okay, so let's let Twitch chat decide. Who do you want to sell this to? Do you want to sell it to the Japanese or the Chinese?
Saying the Japanese make you more money, so
Well,
The
let's.
Japanese make you more money. The Chinese like you a little bit more if you decide to cut them a deal.
Well, I think we like money. I don't know what Twitch chat likes. What does Twitch chat like?
Does Twitch chat like money?
it's actually
Oh,
very
that's,
split.
That's an easy question.
Very split. Okay, pick one at random.
Help! The legislative council doesn't do well with randomness.
Alright, I think the Chinese are winning now.
Alright, Chinese are winning. China.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, so this is gonna give us
China.
Chinese government support and a good more opinion to the Republic of China. Gonna sell this to the Chinese market.
Oh yeah, OP. Tell them about the how the mechanics are like interlinked.
I've already done that, but yeah.
Oh, you have.
So if you sell it to the Republic of China, the Republic of China will like you more, which will give you more money, which will and it will also make it so that the triads will become less of a nuisance, which will help you in the regions of Guangdong UI. Also make it so that the Chinese people will make you hate you a bit less, which will give you more money.
This is all
Eh,
linked.
so-
Everything
Yeah.
gives you more money. That's basically it.
It's
And
all
remember, I mean,
connected.
it's pretty small here, but like some of the amounts you're seeing here, 20 million, 50 million, 75 million, that doesn't sound like a lot. Well, click that button 10 times and you're already spending, almost $1 billion. That's a lot of debt.
Right, so we are going to test the product rigorously. Or no, let's just hire more skilled engineers. A little bit more costly, but also a little bit more efficient.
Or if you don't care about corruption at all, you can just, pay off TV channels to promote your product
That's
nonstop.
We're gonna hire some more skilled engineers first and see what that does for us.
Why is the press negative press in the quality tab? I'm stupid. I'm a dumbass.
It's fine.
It's always fine.
The quality increases if no one talks about it.
Lit.
Alright, we're also going to pay off some high-ranking contacts. Bribe some TV
Good old
channels.
corruption.
Corruption? I don't know her. And we're also going to really use some underworld contacts. Let's see if they make it in. Oh, they made it in. Beautiful.
So some people
Perfect.
here are saying give the audio products to the campaign time. Well, you also have the option to have the police test the products, whatever that means when it comes to a recorder. But, and that gives you a bit of boost in the overall, underworld interface is what we're calling it internally. And yes, the police and the Kenpei actually give you a lot of benefits.
Oh,
Yakuza
oh,
class.
no.
Oh, I was so close to greatness.
Those
Okay.
okay, the pictures. Okay, I don't know why that is. That makes you very sad.
It's a good start. It's a good start. Slightly above average. So we get some liquid reserves.
Oh, that's a broken dynamic modifier.
It's okay.
The tooltips are always broken. I can't do anything to that.
It's
yeah,
hot
and
code.
also the event picture is broken. It's hard code. You know what? We don't care.
So unfortunately, we didn't get to test everything. Malaya won, which was good, I guess.
No, it's not, because our gun sucks.
It's a good start. There's some good work here.
No.
It's a mid gun. It's like perfectly in the middle.
Slightly above average in quality. Okay. So
We just fulfilled one more objective.
Improved
Sony
Sony
would've gotten an additional
experimental.
seat on the LegCo. And those seats count, believe me.
Alright.
So let's take a look. Oh, my money. I'm going to
Oh, my money.
invest.
We
Investment
should
is
use to pay
important.
the debt. Damn. Alright,
Investment is
look at
important. Debt, I
Hey,
don't know.
look at the. Hey, you just look at the red graph spiking up.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah,
updates
you're
monthly.
paying a
It's
though.
lot.
fine. It's fine. We're
a
not
lot
going
of
to talk
debt.
about. We're not going to talk about the corruption. It's not there. If we don't look at it, it's not there. We're going to sort out the police situation. That should deal with some of the corruption.
Hint, if corruption gets too high, you don't have enough political power to do anything else.
And you need political power to do products. It's all linked. It's shifting time.
Is it high time we answer some more questions?
Sure.
Yeah, probably is. Let's have a look.
Alright, Einai, you can make your gracious exit now that the PCharG is over. Do you have any
Alright.
final statements?
I think someone was asking me to play like the scientist scream sound effects, but I don't know how loud it would be, and I don't want to like deafen 406 people. The count just went from 401 to 408 in one frame, but nah, hope that was alright, and have a nice one.
Thanks, Anak.
Alright. Want to answer some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, we can look at the.
Yeah,
first
so
role.
why does the general only get 12 units instead of 24? It's something we did just to make the player use all generals, not just spam them. Especially because in TNO we tend to have smaller armies spread along much more territory. So this way you can actually use most of the generals you have.
Oh yeah. By the way, that's a TT3 thing. That's applicable for like all of the nations. It's something we decided to do.
Speaking of TT3 things, we have some new skeleton content for
Oh
Australia.
hey, it's Australia.
Hey, how you doing? So we have national liberals
Oh, liberals.
in power down there.
Oh yeah. Speaking of if skeleton content, if you're the kind of player that likes to like role play their worlds, or if you just want some outcome for a path, we are adding in TD3 the custom country paths. I'm not really sure if we actually announced that we integrated some.
No, this is the first time we've said it. Yes, we have integrated the custom country path submod for TNO.
We should probably make like a leak or like an announcement for that.
Yeah,
actually. Why is it
yeah.
here?
Why did we announce this now? Oh my goodness.
Ovea
didn't
just
have
said
any-
it, but like yes.
Yeah,
we
but
did it.
it's important. But like I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were keeping it
Yeah,
a secret.
it's high
It's
time
okay.
we announced it anyway.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And right now it's still being implemented. I think most countries already have the custom country paths already implemented.
Yeah, they're doing a
but-
really good job on it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a few of them are broken actually, but like it's like
It's still
really
work
a
in
handful.
progress.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, but I'm really happy with TT progress this past weeks. I wouldn't say we're wrapping it up, but we're getting close to wrapping up TT3 development. Hopefully, like by the start of August, within the first week of August, we can get like a USA stream showcasing Heart and all the new proxies, which I actually disabled for this stream. Like, you're not going to see the Colombian Civil War. You're not going to see the Puerto Plata invasion in Hispaniola, which will be important for early game USA, especially because it sort of replaces the former Guyana invasion. Actually, show them the South American map. Like, they can see all the map changes that we did.
I love the Oriental racist party.
Oh yeah, there's that.
They're just like me for real. Alright, we're gonna force the police to
Yeah,
prototype.
here I was wondering, all the LATAM events that I was looking through when I was testing this, they're not there yet. That answers my question.
Yeah, disabled most of that stuff, and though it's going to we're going to show probably showcases when we actually play proper T3, and
The
hopefully that
amount of
should
work
be
Team
hopefully that
TN.
should be like at the start of August, like I said, first weeks of August around that time. Um, at least we're wrapping up like the uh, proxies. Still a
Yeah,
lot
for
of work
real,
to
the
do,
amount of
but
work you guys have been putting into Latin America is absolutely 100% amazing.
yeah, I'm really happy with how it's looking so far and where it will go in the future.
All right, a good question somebody asked is, will be able to sell to more markets? And it's not implemented yet, but it's the plan. As the plan is that as Japan's foreign policy evolves over the course of the game, Guangdong will be able to follow. So depending on how Japan manages to deal with Italy, the U.S., uh,
Latin
Turkey,
America.
Latin America, maybe Turkey and some other nations in either shifting tides or Penelope's Sweep, Mexico as an example, as told before, Guangdong will be able to sell to them and get some special buffs and maybe some special events as well. So you can
Oh
see
yeah,
how.
maybe you can actually fight a war in Latin America. Not going to talk about Mexico, but like in the Colombian Civil War, which happens in 1965. Um, Actually, there's border skirmishes in 1964, which might show up on stream. Those are really minor though. And the proper Civil War starts in 1965. It resumes because the Civil War is technically still going on. It's 65. It breaks out, and maybe like this fear can get involved in that because the Japan is actually already backing the New Granada attack, and so maybe Guangdong could get involved in there if you want like a jungle and mountain and valley combat. You can get it plenty of that in Colombia.
All
Yeah.
right, so now we have a decision to talk with Stanley Ho and the triads, or Yokoi Hideki's Yakuza. I think we want China to like us a little bit more. I think
Yeah.
we're gonna go for the triads here.
Ho is a
Speaking-
great ally of Sony. He's basically that man in the underground, and also that man who's fucking around in the Macau casinos and monopolizing it like he did IRL.
Stanley
Speaking
Ho
of
is
TD3,
legitimately a fascinating figure. The BBC, I think, may have had an article about his life very recently. He died last year, 2 years ago. He was made very, very rich by the war. Look up Stanley Ho's history; it's fascinating.
Because you know that a lot of people want to know what happened to the Portuguese in Macau and the British in Hong Kong.
All right, I'll take that and some of the lore questions. The British in Hong Kong. We don't talk about the British in Hong Kong. For the Portuguese, that's a little more complicated. The discussion is that Portuguese Macau was allowed to remain independent during the war, but that was really nominal by the war's end. The Japanese approval was needed to get anything done in Macau during the war, and that's basically what Stanley Ho did. He was helping run operations or trade between the nominally neutral Portuguese territories and the rest of the sphere through the Japanese. That's how Stanley Ho actually got his start in business. Our view is that around the same time, really, that Germany decided to yoink all of Portugal and Spain's colonies in Africa, the Japanese decided to make that arrangement official. Obviously, the kinds of gamer deportations that happened with the British will not have been done to the Portuguese, but to the extent that they remain relevant in politics, is much less so. That is something that's admittedly we've done a little less research on. With Stanley Ho ending up being the face of Macau in the game, but it is that is at least the lore justification for what happened in Portuguese Macau between 1945 and 1962 in TNO.
Great, thank you. A lot of people want to see the social tab, but there is literally nothing there as of yet.
Oh, there's technically something there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly work in progress.
Yeah.
Oh, just open it, Lily.
Yeah, we aren't hiding the secret Burgundy world domination path dash. It's
So,
a
yeah.
work in progress.
We're basically there's going to be like summaries of years. This is what the Dark King working on for the past month, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be sort of like not exactly like saucering where you can actually see how you're doing.
Did you say Sussurane?
Yeah, the game, you know.
It's Sussurane, it's not Sussurane.
Ah, okay.
Alright, so now that we've done Stanley Hill, we're going to get some more resources here. There's some good resources. Turns out there's some good resources in the hills.
Yeah, but there's sadly
Plains.
people living on them.
So we might have to change that.
Yes, don't look at the population transfers that are in the tooltips of the foci. Yes, nothing gamer happens in Guangdong ever. Obviously.
It's wholesome.
It's win-win. We get the land, and we also get more workers for the factories. Like, no,
They
everyone
get a
benefits.
job, they get
get a
employment.
Get out of their parents' basement. All right, so we
True.
have some incredible product quality, but our product interest is very high.
Yeah, but it can get higher. You want to get as high as possible for both because they multiply each other. So if you have like 100% quality product but a 50% interest product, it only sells as a 50% product.
All right, so I'm getting worried about our debt. So we're going to
Be corrupt.
be corrupt. Use some more underworld contacts. I did a little bit of corruption fighting. Just a little bit. Just gonna get that a little bit higher. I think I'm happy with the product quality for now. I don't want to spend too much more money on this. But the product interest, we can get that higher.
Let's pop those numbers up.
Up those numbers up. Small price to pay for some more resources.
Yeah, just some marks on a map.
Just don't look too closely at that. Eric Cock up
That guy named Seth, does Guangdong exist? And have diplomatic relations? The answer is yes. In this build, Guangdong is a de jure country that has been split off from China by the Continental Protocols. That doesn't mean China accepts it. They do not. And the fact that Guangdong is caught between two suzerains, China and Japan, comes out when you actually look at how they are represented in Guangdong. They are represented through consul generals, not through ambassadors. So although Guangdong is yes, de jure independent and de facto independent, it still exists in the shadow of China and Japan. And China is very keen to make sure that whenever it gets a chance to punch down on Guangdong and not give it the recognition it would deserve as an independent state, they will do that.
We're gonna give some freebies to the Chinese here.
Fuck over to Japanese. Something that one would notice when playing through Guangdong is that a lot of things that benefit the Chinese make the Japanese angry because it's basically like so if South Africa began supporting the blacks during the apartheid years.
Something gamer is happening in Uruguay.
Uh-oh. What's happening
The
over there?
Switzerland of America.
Oh, speaking you're
Also,
Speaking
please
of
develop.
no,
You are
go
doing
on.
it 100% pains me because it scales like linearly.
I'm worried about the debt.
Who cares? that is a fake.
Our
It's a myth.
creditors care about the
Oh.
debt.
It only gets
Someone-
It
bad.
already has gone down.
Someone in Discord said that we made the Nike symbol.
If you spend less on if you just spend less on like army expenditures, you could actually fix your debt. Also with the product, it gives you a lot of misc income. Also the green number is absolutely useless because Guangdong uses an independent credit rating system that's completely independent from the normal one, as it's only based on your fiscal health.
Also, Atlantropy is gone, I think.
Yeah, we've already showed that.
Yeah.
Strange, you can read through that event there.
Yeah, we have a big
is
announcement for
it
that.
is gaming.
Oh yeah, so we're moving some people around. It's okay. Well, we can force the police to prototype it again.
Also, my apologies. I think it's all I wrote. I need to get my sister to sleep.
Okay. All right.
Please
So
do. Thanks for being on, Scars.
see, we're just
Yeah.
moving them. We're not actually doing anything bad. They're just moving.
See ya, fellas. Bye.
Yes, cars.
Right. All right. I think that I think that now that we've had a good amount of time with TT3, we also have another guest who wants to take part of the stream. The Russia TL Scudo, who will be here any moment now. So, Reha, if you can make your gracious exit, or you could just keep staying here if you want to. I actually don't really care. Then they will be able to answer some questions about Russia, which is experiencing some activity right now.
What a nice way of kicking me out.
Good. Here's the door. I will open it. You can go through it yourself.
All right, so we have incredible product quality,
Yeah.
incredible product interest. We are looking good. I am out of political power. I can do maybe one more.
Yeah, I guess I'll leave. See everybody, and was nice being here. And wait, please expect to have another like a proper T3 stream in like these first weeks of August. Like I said, hopefully a USA stream, but also Scoot wants to like offer to have a Russia stream to showcase all the new stuff. Like, did we announce NET, or should I stay quiet about that?
Stay quiet.
Yeah, okay.
The Russian TL can speak if he wants to.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff for Russia, and mostly everything. But in I think the USA is probably like the most. It's probably the country that's benefited the most out of the TT3, out of the entire TT cycle. Like it's gotten the most content by far. But yeah, look forward for that, and I'll be seeing you guys around. So yeah.
All right.
See you, Beha. So, interesting thing about the event that just popped up. It is tracking the Lee family. They're getting the very short end of the stick that Chinese people get in Guangdong. Reminder, you are not the good guys in this, no matter what you do. And they're speaking with a Jujin police officer who has two names, and this character will keep coming up throughout your game. Hayashi Kogawa, or Lam Haotian. I'm sorry, I do not speak Cantonese. And we are tracking some persistent characters throughout the narrative. That actually contributes to a fair amount of why the log file is so big. We're trying not just to focus on the leaders, but try to have persistent tracking of some characters that you'll get to know very closely, so you can track not just what you're changing in society, but how that affects people.
It's the different ethnic groups of Guangdong are kind of like represented in these characters that you follow. The Lee family and the Yoshikawa as an example. And was Yoshikawa isn't Yoshikawa and Yoshiko both characters that show up? If I'm like correct.
Yeah. Yep. Yoshiko Yasukawa is the Japanese representative for the three ethnic groups. Yeah.
Yes, and you'll see how your path ends up changing these characters and changing their environments. And okay, Scoot, welcome. Introduce yourself.
Welcome to my podcast. Hello, I'm the team lead for the Russian region and for Moscow. And I see I have joined right on time, since 2 minutes ago a Russia question was: if Yugra invades Vorkuta, then will Omega still be able? Forgive me if I am not understanding you, but how would this prevent this?
I think the question is essentially from the fact that some people just saw that the Yugra was attacking Vortuka for seemingly something that wasn't implemented before. Can you give us a bit of insight on that, if you want to?
Without revealing too much information right now, Russia wasn't left alone for the development of PT3, finished business. And so some stuff was changed here and there, including fastening the western Siberian unification via the Yugra Work Tower. I hope I unskipped it.
Thank you. Do you want to indulge us in some of the changes coming to Russia in TT3, or would you rather keep that quiet for the actual TT3 stream?
I would rather keep it secret for now.
Great. You can all be all excited for the actual TT3 stream coming along.
Okay.
And here we see the product of Guangdong, the TR962A, as they all have unique events.
All right. So we have great product cycle, interest of product quality, product profitability. We have 3 new Liteco seats for Sony. We got 2.42 more real GDP growth, 5.82% more GDP growth, and then a lot of missed income, which we are going to spend down our debt.
Yes. The difference between real GDP growth and GDP growth is that real GDP growth is like GDP growth is your potential maximum, and real GDP growth will subtract from that, like depending on how corrupt your state is, or if you're lacking in potential because your economy just collapsed because your students just did as well.
Where did my money go? Where did my liquid go?
Yeah, wait, where's the income? Maybe, wait, yeah, you actually do have income. It's just because you're spending $3 billion on the army each year. Been literally like 12% of your GDP on the army.
It's okay.
You want to spend down the debt, but you want to spend more. You just
Well,
it's like a contradiction.
It's that money we spend that it gave me no liquid reserves.
No, because money comes in as like a stream of revenue, and you're currently spending that entire stream.
It's okay. We're fine.
It's a flow, sir.
The GDP. Look, our GDP is gonna skyrocket. Look at that growth.
It's gonna be great. You are way above target. That makes me happy.
If you want more growth, you can give them another tax cut.
True.
True. They don't deserve to pay taxes.
Also get a lot more PP from that. That's actually a variable I haven't thought of. Just spamming tax cuts. That kind of like ruins my math actually.
All right, and with
It's not that.
With this, we get another
impactful.
0.4% GDP growth. We're popping off. We're gonna meet with the Japanese elite. Oh, we also have a doctrine available.
Oh yeah, that's actually. Wait, no, that's from the NSP patch to get passive experience from like the armies and stuff.
Alright, we're gonna go for strategic theorem.
Alright, as one can see, the Guangdong game kind of slows down a bit after the first 6 months because those are the most hectic ones. Those are the ones that introduce everything to the game, and then it's usually pretty smooth sailing. It might be something that we want to pack up with some more stuff, but no matter. Else the game would also be too intensive for one to play before you know it will just be a bunch of spamming of events and such. Can you actually go back to the ideology pie chart?
Yeah.
Sorry that I.
Yeah, go to the pie chart. No, I was just saying. Well, the next thing that's coming up on the line after 2 more focuses is Lechco, because they're going to pass some legislation. So we'll be transitioning to the next segment of content pretty quickly.
Yeah, but what one can notice is that the Lechco has 100 seats. That is 100% on the pie chart. Therefore, you can connect the pie chart with the amount of seats that each faction has in the Lechco and correlate that. So Sony just got 3 seats from the Lechco for the product, so they have 13% popularity on the ideology pie chart. Very cool.
Very cool.
Trung brother, the only country where you want your troops to perform as terribly as possible to min-max weapon development. Yes, that's basically the point of the PTRG. We wanted to flip the combat system on its head.
Alright, so now that we've met with the Japanese elite, we're gonna meet with the Jujin. Please tell me if I'm saying that terribly.
Yeah, no, that's correct. No worries.
I felt like such an idiot when Kuzunoha today actually pronounced the different chief executives like in Japanese like correctly, because I've been pronouncing them wrong for the entire 18 months I've been working on Guangdong. Fuck it.
If there's anyone who speaks Cantonese on this stream, I'm sure they're going to give me a hard time about Cantonese names.
we do have a lot of people from actual Guangdong who they are actually working on Guangdong. Some of them are working on Guangdong, but a lot of them are working on the setting sun China and also Manchukuo, and also a lot of other stuff. But yeah, we probably like given them a heart attack because we don't know how to pronounce things, even though we decide this country.
All I know is Leiho, and yeah.
I'm white as fuck, that's my excuse. Alright, so the two Zhujin of Guangdong. So we have Li Kashin, and we have who else?
Morita.
Morita.
Yes.
Morita is the second one. And so that actually gets to a bit of an interesting concept about Jujin, which, yes, it most typically refers to Chinese nationals or people of Chinese descent who are actively bought into this warped corporate colonial capitalism that Guangdong has. But it also can work in very rare cases for Japanese people who, for lack of a better word, go native. Morita is the most prominent example of that. The backstory being that Morita got kicked out of the home islands, and there's a very good reason why Ibuka and Morita, who were best of pals and business partners in real life in TNO, are bitter rivals, and that is because they had a falling out in 1952 that led to Morita having to leave Japan, try to pick himself back up in Guangdong, and then Ibuka came later, chasing him into Guangdong. So there's no love lost between those two, and now Morita identifies a lot more strongly with being in Guangdong because he basically has nowhere else to go, which is a recurring theme for a lot of the Jujin as time goes on. That's their life that they've chosen. They don't have that much else left to fall back on.
Right, so now we're gonna motivate the Chinese workforce. We're gonna throw them a little bit of pork. Gonna give them just a little bit of stuff. They don't need a lot. They're not that important.
We do plan to introduce the lore throughout the game, so you can come into this somewhat blind and try to feel things out as you go. The Dev Diary is the place where you can get the lore dump all at once. But we will actually be illustrating it through events, some of the actual exact events that went into some of the lore. Hopefully that will hit a little harder than just than the write-up we did a few months ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about the Morita Ibuka backstory, which makes for a surprisingly personal story in a country that breaks down personalities.
Alright, so we got the security situation now. We're gonna increase our police presence.
God, I love Guangdong icons. They're all brilliant.
No, our artists are doing amazing work for Guangdong. Once we get to the transition to Morita at the end of the stream, if we get there, I know it's been taking a while, you will see some of the art that has been put out for Morita, and it is absolutely gobsmacking. It's amazing. Can't wait to show that to you guys.
We are getting ever closer to our goal.
Yeah, you are very on target, considering that the goal only checks in February 1963.
Yeah, you need these products to do well in order to meet your GDP goals. They are deliberately set in that way. But obviously that puts a huge drain on your PP and your money every time that a product comes out. So it's going to be a constant game of balancing your political power, which is the heart of strategy, making decisions with limited resources and weighing the opportunity costs.
You could actually use some of your spare political power to improve your security situation and try to flip some states to be police controlled. Also fight down the corruption, probably.
Corruption. Clueless.
Yikes.
It's fine. Oh, we should investigate rumored Yasuda connections. I'm sure that's fine. And then... Oh, that's all my political power.
Hey,
It's okay. So we're gonna update Tokyo. Things are going well. I don't think anything back in the home islands could change the course of how well Guangdong is going right now. We're just gonna be great forever, I think.
Everything's turning up Suzuki.
Right. Updating Tokyo. Would it be enough? You have the People of the Pearl.
Yeah, the
this
People
talk-
of the Pearl event is the one that deliberately goes into what Jujin is, and the context of this event is someone at a university is asking, all right, what exactly is Jujin? There's a lot of them, no clear definition. What is it really? And the university professor here goes on a bit of a rant. You can actually read it out. It's pretty funny to read from basically the third paragraph down, but basically, yeah, it's artificial, like so many things about Guangdong, and that's where you start. That's the entire theme of Guangdong. That this is something that's not supposed to be there. It's an aberration of history, but it's there, and everyone has to find some way to deal with it and survive. And that's really one of the themes that we want to explore with each of the four main chief executives that you'll be able to play.
Alright, Tokyo has been updated. Japan likes this a little bit more. So we are going to now propose something to the Legislative Council. We're going to propose the revised labor standards ordinance.
Yeah, and while it might sound like a good old wholesome, yay, we're gonna fix the labor rights, this just does nothing. It's worthless than the piece of paper it's written on. It's like it's a lot of writing, but it ultimately doesn't like help a lot with the crippling inequality and labor issues of Guangdong.
All right, now that's done. So let's open up the Mexcio interface.
So we have only 37 votes, apparently. Not nearly enough. So we're going to have to court some people. So we're going to go for Sony. Of course, we have Morita Akio. We're going to get 4 more seats in support of the current ordinance. Is that 4 or 5?
That's 5.
That's 5. I can read.
I am reading in the chat that someone skipped a wedding for this. Please go to your wedding.
Oh my
This
goodness.
will be available. This will be available as video on demand. Trust me, this will be around for you to watch later. Please go. Please take care of family obligations.
Oh my goodness. A little bit more political power. Let's try and get some police. I'm gonna modernize the police units again.
I should probably make the buttons a bit stronger. They're very weak right now. That's me not balancing it correctly. I'm great at this.
It's okay. It's all hot code. There's a reason we're not ready yet. Okay. So, looks like we are just at the cusp of being on target.
You already are the target. Are you? No, right
Just
now.
on the cusp.
We're close.
Alright, we have the Lee family again. We have a day in the life. Oh my goodness, I'm not even going to try with those names.
Yeah, this is Officer Lamb dealing with the monotony and the just deprivation of life in Guangdong, and the Lee family understanding that things might have changed, but their managers publicly laugh at the concept of a new labor standards ordinance. So,
Alright.
pour one out for labor rights. They're not happening.
Alright, we actually got a Cantonese person on here so that he can scream at us how bad we are pronouncing Cantonese names. Introduce yourself and then tell us how to pronounce things like Li Ka-shing without being racist.
Clueless.
I think we've offended them already. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, we are going to... Who should we go for? I think Yasuda is our best bet.
Hello.
Hey. Your mic is coming a bit in and out.
Strongest internet connection from Hong Kong. This is the second Hong Kong on the stream.
Okay, now I think I can hear people. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
All
Hi.
right.
Yeah, hi. Okay. Most organized TNO dev stream. My name's all names. I'm a Reddit mod ambassador. I'm currently living in Hong Kong. Yeah, that's about it.
You pronounce things like Guangdong in actual Cantonese.
Well, Guangdong we call Guangdong. And Hong Kong would be Hong Kong. And such. Like,
Awesome. So I've probably offended someone in my 18 months of developing Guangdong from my
Yeah.
comfortable living space in Denmark. That's great.
I'd just like to point out that he's a soy jack.
He's soy.
He's soying.
All right.
So
You might see that you have got some votes, but it's still not enough.
we gotta make some last-minute preparations.
And
I love
preparation
Kuro.
the most Guangdong way possible. Buy the votes.
Some things going on in Uruguay. Centrists.
Please do not disclose your stock portfolio on Discord or Twitch. That is not a good idea.
Damn.
Product
The
cycle.
grove is gone. Oh, it isn't updated yet, actually. Oh, now it has. Damn.
Pump those numbers up. We're still very good on target.
But your deficit is
10% deficit.
good. I don't think Guangdong's supposed to spend that much as a military.
It's okay. We're spending it on the military, quote unquote. It's just more corruption. My inflation's down. See, it's going
police
up.
divisions that Guangdong has.
Oh no. Okay.
Actually, when it gets a bit more developed, the market will probably work as a very nice alternate source of revenue if you need to if you want to spend a lot of an army, and then you could produce guns and you can sell those guns and get more money. So that's actually an unintended side consequence that I did not realize until now. Just shows my genius.
We got some last-minute persuasion. Shall buy as many Yasuda votes as we need at the expense of considerable corruption.
Yeah, your corruption just spiked. I think 8%. I think 8% is correct. Yeah.
Oh, but we have the votes. We have the votes. I'm gonna just turn that down a little bit. That was so corrupt.
Probably, yeah, it's all hard code. A lot of this stuff is relatively unbalanced, but I've gotten positive test feedback, so that means that people can at least figure it out how it works.
3 days until the final vote. Madagascar collects.
Alright, pass. It's a hard code to pass. If it doesn't pass, it means that I fucked up somewhere.
So we
I love my
token improvements to labor laws.
I love my slight improvements that does like nothing in the grand scheme of things.
But everyone's applauding, everyone's cheering. They're going wild in the chamber. Absolutely hog wild. Okay, now we're going up to see our friends up in Manchukuo.
Oh, well, quote-unquote friends. And then you see the reality of what's actually happened.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's actually changed. We like to pretend nothing's changed.
It's good propaganda.
True.
Like, Japan likes it when the people aren't angry, then we should too.
So there was a question, is Guangdong one of those nations that does not read any military outside of proxy war units? The answer is yes, you are also not allowed to train any new units, so you're not going to be building anything new.
We are cordially invited, and we have to decide who is going to go. Oh, so we get another Legco seat for Sony. Easy choice. Morita and Sony would make a large impression, especially coming off of their incredible product release.
And just to highlight the lack of respect Guangdong gets in this wider sphere, because it's an illegitimate stepchild and everyone knows it, is that the invitation to go to the Pan Asian Economic Conference really only came about a week before they actually have it happen. Late invitations. Great.
Yeah, the
Great
Pan Asian
protocol.
The Pan Asian Economic Conference. You'll see from the Manchurian POV when you actually play as Manchukuo when it releases. But we're letting Manchukuo be relatively be in that corner right now, while it's Guangdong's time to shine.
I mean, I think we can safely say that Manchukuo's game is also very inward looking, but they face a very different set of issues compared to Guangdong. Both deal very much with themes of nation building and national identity and a colonial state, but it's there's a lot of different thematic differences with Manchukuo that we're also actually honestly really excited to see. Go look at the Manchukuo teasers if you haven't already. They actually give you a good idea of what who's who in Manchukuo, and it's a very different set of characters than you see here in Guangdong.
Looks like Bulgaria did a bit of trolling this game. We're gonna talk to the Japanese now after we talked with the Manchukuo. Manchurians.
Yeah, they don't like us all that much at all.
We'll show them. We'll show them.
Well, you are currently outgrowing them real big if you look at GDP growth. They're a bit struggling down there. But yeah, they have a large lead, and you have little time to act.
Now we're talking to the Japanese. Japanese don't like us that much either, other than what we can give them.
They were late to the meeting because they had other more pressing business to attend to. How much they like us.
We're gonna talk to the Chinese. Surely our Chinese brothers in the north here will appreciate us. Surely.
I guess responding immediately to Lieutenant Lucan, is there a theoretical grand endgame for Guangdong? Not in the sense of a unification of China. That has never ever been on the cards for Guangdong development. But you can nip that in the bud right now. That is not really the theme that Guangdong is going for narratively. There is an end game. We are absolutely trying to make sure the tension ramps up throughout the game for the 1970 time frame, but that's not going to be the kind of ending you're going to be looking at. Yep. And you have Consul General, Song Jiguang here, who is making it very clear that China does not have any patience with the fact that Japan decided to carve out its most populous province in 1950 for the sake of making more money.
Especially
they're still bitter about that.
Especially a province that's like the hotbed of Chinese nationalism, which would unify China and unify China under the nationalists. Yeah, that's how Japanese corporate colony. No one in China likes that. That's like spitting them in the face.
I mean, all names can provide a little bit more detail if I'm wrong, but didn't Sun Yat-sen spend a lot of time in Hong Kong actually, or was educated there for a time? That's how.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, I think I mean, I have okay, I'm stammering a lot. I think he spent a while in Hong Kong and then he went up. I'm getting real. The only information I have on Sun Yat-sen is from the museum.
No, I mean, yeah, there is a museum in Hong Kong dedicated to Sun Yat-sen, which again says a lot. Guangzhou, or in this timeline, Koshu, which would be the Japanese translation, is the other location where we spent a lot of time. And so, yeah, it's intrinsic to the founding nationhood of modern China that to see it carved out like this is really an abomination to any concept of a free or a just future for China. And that's always going to be a theme when you deal with the RGOC government as Guangdong.
Alright, so it turns out that no one is taking this seriously whatsoever. Everyone just sort of walked out. So we're gonna start having a rivalry with Manchuria. We gotta outpace.
We'll show them.
We will show them. Let's see who's the illegitimate puppet state. It's both of us.
The answer is both.
So, all right. Now we have the goals of Guangdong and most of the mechanics introduced. Let's wrap things up, right? It's a new year. It's February. We'll be able to get our results for the year of growth soon. Keep going down the tree. Let Suzuki focus on his next priority. Something about a panopticon. Big.
There's a lot. There's a lot after that. I don't know why. That's a bit weird. I think there's probably like a tree shift somewhere. Like Suzuki has some new priorities to deal with.
Make a more sustainable security state is the name for Suzuki going forward. And yeah, obviously he's not done with what he's doing, even though he has literally been browbeating all the corporations into getting one labor bill passed, which should give you an idea of the kind of personality that Suzuki is. Not a pleasant one to be dealing with.
Yeah, Suzuki was a guy who was heavily involved in the creation of the national defense state. During World War II, and then he like got off in the after World War II after spending some years in Sugamo with the rest of the war criminals, and then it kind of integrated back to political life, but not really. He was like sitting in his corner doing something.
Yeah, he did not. He explicitly refused a call to return to political life after the war, but he remained, I think, an advisor for the LDP. And there are a couple of interviews that Suzuki did after the war, explaining his thought process going into producing a lot of the analysis that justify the decision for war. And again, one of the many main takeaways from those is that a lot of people knew that the numbers didn't add up, but Japan, in a very Japan-like way, just let the decision go unanswered until they said, well, we're going to war and there's nothing we can do about it, despite many people, Suzuki included, knowing that it was a very bad idea.
Right, so we did great. So Suzuki is getting 3 Legco seats. Everyone likes us a little bit more. Japan really likes us a little bit more, and we got more growth for next year. We are looking fine and dandy.
Everything's fine in the Guangdong. That nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. Getting some more informants. Corruption goes up a little bit. That's okay.
To answer another question in the stream, is it always annexed by Longyan China? The details of any Great Asian War are not final. That's always been the view from us. There is, or at least in our brain, there is certainly a hypothetical future in which Guangdong can stay independent, but whether that's a good future for anyone in Asia writ large is a completely different question. Like, one of the things that should become absolutely clear playing Guangdong is that if you play, you play with a very blinkered set of interests. I mean, that's visible from the PTRG to the narrative, and that ultimately when China and Japan come knocking, they have their own interests, and by and large, you don't have a say. You don't have much of a say into that, and the story is going to be much more of adapting as to what that happens as it happens, rather than you being able to make, I guess, a huge role in that level of decision making. That's not to say that it's not possible, but it's very unlikely.
You're gonna get gangsters chasing gangsters here. Officer Lamb is a little annoyed at people really messing up the Cantonese.
Understandable.
Understandable.
My understanding is that since there's a lot of not homophones in Cantonese, but tones that make to the uninitiated speaker and listener make a lot of things sound similar. There's There's word. All names can correct me. Guy and Guy. One is chicken. One is road. Don't get the two mixed up. Otherwise, you'll be asking your butcher about the pavement outside.
Gonna be real. I used to think that the swear pot guy actually was referring to the chicken way of saying it.
No, it's not. You're right. It does not refer to the chicken.
Alright, so we got Project Panopticon here. Well, we're gonna be a Big Brother state.
Oh look, it's March 1963. What could possibly go wrong at the end of the Japanese fiscal year?
Nothing.
Guangdong will win. ECW.
Guangdong sweep.
Now we got the police in control of Hong Kong, Hoshu and Macau.
Have you checked on the new economic goals? Actually, I think it should show that the GDP growth goal is like increased. Yeah, it's increased from 8% to 9%. So you need to like because the investors see economic potential, they want to see those numbers pumped up. So the better you do, the more it grows. The worse you do, the more it falls.
Uh-oh.
Oh
no.
troll face.
Wow.
Who could have predicted this? Uh-oh.
Oh, well, what happens with the fact that like 30 of your lecos is now owned by Yasuda? That's the real question. 23 of them.
Yasuda. Uh-oh.
Yikes.
Who was that?
Hussein, I just hopped in the gym. I love the mind boom thought. Alright, and it is 3 days after the crisis, and Suzuki Teichi really wants to jump out of like the highest building in Hong Kong right now.
Understandable. Disaster this caliber has never hit the young state of Guangdong before. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Blunt
I mean,
force-
read the last line of that, right? Like, try not to watch the market as you try to get back to work. That's hard. Let's open up the econ screen next, shall we?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's all gone.
It's all gone.
Yeah, your growth is basically at 0, unless you want to deficit spend. But your debt has just doubled. Now your fiscal health isn't looking that good. It's looking I think it's cautious now. Your credit rating has also gone down due to it.
We got some
Your policing is more aggressive. Your country is in ruin.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
when you cannot pay your police to do and informants to do your job for you, you use
Alright,
force and a lot
Don't
more
worry,
of it.
Suzuki has a plan. He will save us all.
The music stops. I believe in Suzuki Sweep.
Suzuki sweep. He's gonna get all 100 Leco seats.
Also, I think the GDP was at 23 billion when right before the Yasuda crisis hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
This crisis just wiped out $3 billion.
Yeah, that was all of our
your
growth
annual
gone.
GDP.
Yeah, you're basically at square one again. but at the worst, but with worse.
And they still expect
I know
it.
some people were asking whether you get the option to intervene in the Philippines, which just kicked off. I don't know. If you have to cut your military spending down that low, I don't know if the PTRG is going to do any good in the Philippines. Now, I know that's not the point, but having the PTRG melt is also not good for conducting experiments either. So, right now, there is no deployment of the PTRG to the Philippines, precisely because you've got other things to be worrying about right now.
Corruption is back up. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you really want to use those for the first year of yours as efficiently as you can, because else everything after the Yasuda crisis and until the inauguration of the chief executive is gonna hurt like balls, because there's a lot of damage.
Oh,
I mean, we can say it up front here. You are not going to meet your economic goals in 1963. You are not. It is impossible.
Japan also is basically the event is also basically Japan saying Yeah, we fucked up. We are sorry. We apologize, but we won't get any negative effects for it. But you basically reset, and your growth value resets to 6% because you need to like kind of build up the state now. And it's basically fucking in flames.
Just pay down some of that debt there.
Is it possible to meet the goals of 1963 if you play very good? Not that I know of, and not if you play legally.
Yeah, you need to somehow fucking summon in 25% growth in 1 year when your entire economy is in the shitter, which is probably not impossible. Unless you do setvar GDP growth 25, but what's the point?
Well, you could turn on the money creation printer, but
I think that doesn't even solve like growth. It only gives you like a missed income. So like if you want to pay down the debt,
Ooh, that button's looking real good.
make all your debt and your growth disappear in this one instant.
How to have zero
yes, this
economy.
is why Hong Kong maintains a currency board so they don't have to deal with this problem.
You know, we're still in control. We're still in control.
Oh yeah, regarding the Philippines PCRG, there is the Japanese re-invasion where Guangdong, I don't know, maybe can do something, but currently there's nothing.
Oh, every state likes me a little bit less. Uh-oh. Oh, that Chinese support is very low.
At least you have the police and the free pills.
That was Tokyo saying, sorry, this is a you problem. And of course, Suzuki thinks that's bullshit, but, you know, when you don't have a government in Tokyo, it's not going to be any money from Tokyo either. But hooray! Democracy in Malaya? Yay!
Left wing, oh my god, it's patriotic socialism, it's left wing nationalism in this sphere.
I love it.
Oh my god, that's the first time I've seen that.
This is the first time I've seen this too, actually.
I love patriotic socialism.
I didn't realize that could happen. Most knowledgeable TNO devs. Fiscal cliff time. We are going off. I love that icon.
Drastic action will be required, indeed. I mean, we've already cut military spending to the bone.
Revolt that failed. Uh-oh. Okay, Argentina's popping off. It's the first time I've seen that one too, actually.
Yeah, Suzuki's being hounded by the press. They kind of like hate him because where did the money go? Why is fifth of the LegCo actually embroiled in the largest corruption scandal that's hit Japan in forever? And he doesn't really have an answer. He doesn't really know why it happens.
Where's the money, Suzuki?
He's trying to say it's okay. The markets will still function. The markets close 2 hours later.
So at least Manchukuo also I think Manchukuo takes even more damage from like the Yasuda crisis, so that's at least some advantage. All right, you're gonna try to like stabilize Guangdong.
Yeah, let's get Suzuki's plan off the ground.
I am once again asking for your financial support.
All right, so this plan's gonna go really well. Suzuki's gonna save Guangdong with his 31 seats and his and tying himself to the sinking anchor that is Yasuda. He will stand where no other man has stood and fix Guangdong and ensure that we can fix all of the problems. Oh, everyone hates him. And now they want to throw him out of Guangdong.
Yeah, take a. I mean, look at Ibuka's reaction here. It is literally no. Ibuka doesn't take bullshit at all. Matsushita bullshits a lot, and Morita doesn't have to put himself on the line because the other two have done the job for him. Goes to show how much really people liked Suzuki at the end of the day.
Confidence.
You can see how many people support Suzuki right now.
Clueless. Uh-oh.
There's If any people have actually played the Yakuza type of games, just imagine like the corporate meetings between the chief executives and stuff, just like how in Yakuza when you have like the antagonists who sit like in like a seat formation and then you just like spit at each other and throw cigarettes at each other.
That is not an incorrect assessment of how many of these events go. We are trying to make sure that we bring enough personality through them. Ibuka is a pretty straight shooter. Matsushita's a bit of a snake, and I've loved writing him for that.
Yeah, a lot of it is about Guangdong. It's most famous for its for what its concept is, but we wanted to do a lot of work on making sure that each of the chief executives actually had a personality, so that it's both a story of a state and the person forming the state. If you want to ask some Russian questions, the Russia team lead is in chat right now, so please ask as many as you want to.
I know that it also did brought up in chat about, I think, the Kowloon Walled City and other features, I guess, of urban Hong Kong landscape or Hong Kong. And yes, those will absolutely be referenced in localization. They are written, they won't be introduced as we explore most of that after the new chief executive comes in. So yes, it is absolutely something we want to be exploring.
All right, so we got 3 free seats for Sony, and we also get to begin the Sony's product cycle. And we of course support our boy.
Alright, it's good. There's actually coming a lot of Russia questions. The first question is how's the Komi rework going, and the second question is will the Southern Urals ever be overhauled?
Could you please repeat the first question?
How is the Komi rework going? The one that adds like the parliament and stuff.
Oh, Komi rework? Well, first of all, it's not really a rework. More correctly would be to assume that it's an improvement on mechanics. Second of all, it's going well. The main framework is being completed for it, and therefore some is now on other stuff connected to. And the second question about Southern Urals, will be ever able to what?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't hear it quite well at the end.
Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Will the Southern Urals be getting an update at some point?
Oh, yes, they will. I cannot yet disclose what it will be, but it will. It will.
Right.
I have to go from the stream soon, so I will drop one more announcement. Around the middle of August, you can expect a stream for TT3 that will be done on some world. The reason because is Russia will get something for TT3. This something is not a small update, and in fact it's complete by this point, so I will be able to stream it rather soon. If any questions up, I will be able to answer them here.
Alright. Thanks for being here. I see he left before I said so. Okay, yeah, you are running real low on political power and real low on quality and interest.
Well, I just spent everything, so it hasn't
Oh, I
updated
see.
yet.
I see. So it should be kind of fine.
Yeah. So far so okay. And we're targeting this towards Japan this time. I think that should be good.
Yeah, you need that money
the
because it's all
money.
gone. It's all gone. Yeah, your production units is like contracted with 3, so you only have 13 now.
Also, Guangdong is falling apart completely at the seams.
Alright. People are asking if Guangdong is like a cyberpunk dystopia. It's, well,
Not cyberpunk. I mean, the themes will be familiar to cyberpunk in all its forms, but it's the 1960s and 70s. It's not. We're not quite there yet. You can start getting there probably at the end of the TNO2 timeframe. Actually, if you're really honest, what we would recognize as computer culture really only starts developing around that time. But in terms of examining like urbanization and that kind of atomization in a colonial society, yeah, like that dislocation feeling will absolutely be there.
Oh wait, another failure. Suzuki, uh-oh.
trolled. It shouldn't have stood alone. Should have relied on the triads, which Morita learns from and realizes that yeah, we might need some help to actually like kind of fix our not so very functional state. Corruption should be a lot easier to handle when you get into the actual path because you can ally with the Yakuza or the triads, depending which path you work on with, which will make it so they stop the growing corruption. But currently it's a bit out of control.
It is going to be a very interesting trade-off at the very start of any major game when you actually get through the Asuda crisis, that each of the trees is designed so that you have main paths, but they all deal with a certain issue. That you'll either deal with social issues, which goes to the regions and the demographic support that you need to kind of boost growth in the background, explicit economic bonuses, ways to make Guangdong's finances not always be in the red, and then a lot on crime and corruption. And you can take them in any order, but you're gonna have to deal with all of them at some point or another. And putting those together to make sure that you get the best outcome possible and meet your targets is going to be a continual balancing act for Guangdong, and that's the main driver for the trade-offs that we want the player to be able to make once you enter the main tree proper.
Alright, somebody asking how does working with criminals help reduce corruption, and it's because that they're part of your vertical security system, and they're like, okay, we aren't going to deal with the letco or like try to make the civil service work worse. In exchange for the fact that you will protect us and you will help us against the other criminals so we can monopolize our crime. So it isn't as much as they are corrupt as much as they are we are corrupt, but not in a way that would inconvenience the government.
I'm going to default to Richard Nixon's answer to the question when posed in the Frost Nixon interviews. When the president does it, it is not illegal.
Very true.
You can actually maybe save your product if you want to, if you are a bit more corrupt, but that's gonna cost a lot for you.
I think we're already past that corruption point.
Corruption is in intervals for effects. So like if you're above 80%, you're basically it doesn't matter if you go to 90% or like 85%. It's gonna be the same effects anyways. All right. So this is why like people realize that oh yeah, we can actually remove Suzuki and now he will do nothing.
Such a shame. We were nice to Yasuda before. We didn't accuse them of anything when we thought they were doing something crooked. But oh look, 12 votes.
Yeah, the reason I actually had to hard code it was 12 votes because that's what was written in the event, and that's what I will have it to be here. You know, accuracy and all that.
Spare a thought for me. I rewrote an event 2 days ago because the numbers didn't add up, and I didn't want to go through any sort of hard coding, the stuff that you did all over again.
12 votes. Troll face.
It's Jover.
So Jover.
Nothing personal. And yes, here in the future, future executives do have the option of trading corruption for votes. The most time-honored of democratic activities, just made official. But obviously Suzuki wasn't nearly as smooth an operator as he thought he was, and now he's gone.
People ask if the Guangdong technologies are only for sphere consumption. Well, the gun, all of Guangdong's marketing is soft power. for the sphere, if it's either like selling a gun or selling a radio, it's gonna be a way to benefit the allies of Japan and also by extension Guangdong. So if you treat Japan nicely, you might get a Sony radio or a Sony TV, which is great. That's how you should be. How you should use
By the way,
diplomacy.
that Sony TV you just saw, the TV5303, that's a 5-inch TV that you can place in your car dashboard.
It's great.
It's great.
It's beautiful.
Black and white, made in the 60s. So yeah, your car TV before it became popular, and was integrated with sat-nav systems.
Alright, so Suzuki is gone. It's over.
Suzuki is gone.
So
Oh, yeah.
Matsuzawa
Matsuzawa.
Takuji. I said that perfectly. Yeah, he's gone. See ya. I'll see you around, kid. And we got this guy in charge. His last man.
And that's a new focus tree that we haven't teased before. And I love the Morita and the Buka plant focuses. They're so great. If you want to scroll up again so they can get a better look at them. So now it's basically picking up the scraps and figuring out what now.
Yeah, and you'll see in the next event. When Suzuki leaves, all the other executives decide, well, they need a leader. And who better to lead Guangdong than the person who's trying to put out every single fire on the planet? Oh yes, look at these foci. It gets better. I love our artists to death. They are doing phenomenal work.
I want to die every time you say foci. Do you pronounce
I
it
hate
foci?
it. I
It's a
also
foci.
hate it.
Isn't it foci? And like focuses, so it's
I'm
so it
glad
should
I'm
be
not
foci.
I'm glad I'm not the only person in physical pain hearing him say foci.
Really?
Yeah, it's foci. That's how you usually
Yeah,
pronounce
I say foci.
Hey, we've got an accidental appointment.
Yeah, it's like it's like he doesn't really want to be there, but was like he can't escape. He's the captain of the sinking ship.
Yeah, put the drowning person in charge.
He's
So everyone else can do more other
roll
shit.
face.
Oh,
Nixon.
oh dear.
Uh-oh. God, the world is just going so great right now. What a wonderful year, 1963. Let's see. God, the
If you
Chinese
need
hate
more,
me.
if you need more political power, go to the three evils.
Well, you can you can
okay.
also do tax cuts actually.
Oh, it's true. They don't need to pay taxes. Oh, God.
And if you click on opinion or approval, you do have the. Oh God, we cut taxes.
You got tax.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, China already hates me.
Yeah, if you choose approval, yeah, you can do request additional backing and sacrifice some support from each of the governments for political power, which should help you push up the product quality.
Meeting the Japanese and Chinese representatives gives you some cool events where you like check in with the guys. The Song Si Kwan and I think it's Takashima Masuo. I think that's the name. And then you're
either
basically
meet with the generals or the diplomats.
yeah, and you're basically
One likes you, the other doesn't. And
Yeah.
you don't know which one you're going to get.
The Chinese
Yeah.
already hate me. What's a little bit more hatred?
troll face.
Yes, and that event is Ibuka and Matsushita pulling the knives out for each other even while they're celebrating Suzuki getting kicked out.
Alright, a question. Can Guangdong be ahead of OTL consumer technologies?
For lack of exploration into, I guess, other parts of the world developing it, so like the IBMs and, Siemens in Germany. Yes, I mean, this is going to be we're going to explore it as far as we can in Guangdong with the products, and you will see, I guess, some of the technologies that were fundamental to building our modern world through TNO 1. I won't go so far as to say it's at the forefront of it, but given the concentration of all the product talent in Guangdong, the implication is that Guangdong becomes a second hand for at least consumer electronics in the sphere. The irony, of course, being that Guangdong is in a precarious enough position that it may not stay that way.
Alright, so our product is looking a little bit better. It's great quality, but still average interest. Oh, I got
If
it.
you can pump both to like 80%, then you're gonna get a decent outcome. But if you can get them at least under what? If you can get them around the 60% each, that's also fine.
A little bit more corruption.
Corruption, I love corruption.
Corruption. I just got a lot
How
more
finished
political
is
power.
Guangdong? OP, you want to put a percentage on it? I'd say we're at the 70-80% mark.
What question?
Question is, how finished are we?
Oh, it depends on what angle you're looking at it. If you want to look at it from currently on the log sheet, we have 2,800 pieces of localization.
Okay, yeah,
requested.
that's true. That's where I look at it. Yeah, we're not nowhere close to done. You're right.
Yeah, and we have written 2,100 of them, but so we still need 700 events or such, and that might be more in the future. From a art perspective, we are nowhere near done. Like Jesus Christ, we are very far away. We may I wager 30 to 40% there, unless you look at tech art, that'll be more like 60 to 70%. Code wise, I wager the 70-80% makes sense.
Yeah, I guess the internal metric we're using is, can you play a game from start to finish? And in that sense, like, yeah, we're 70-80% of the way there, even if there's a lot of placeholder luck and if not all the art is done. But it's designed. It's designed, and you can play it, and the systems are in place. The rest is getting that over the line, and it's hard with the qualities that we are expecting for the writing and the art. You'll see a lot of that coming through in the quality of what we do, but it takes time.
Yeah, I'm gonna use some time after this to like organize the last stretch we need to make a fully playable experience from start to finish. But it won't be as nearly as polished as I'd like it to be. But just the fact that you can sit down as Guangdong, play an entire game with like nearly no bugs. That's already or like nearly no consequence of bugs. So it's like very organic. That's already a massive achievement that I'm extremely proud of.
Alright, so now we are coming to our first major decision. Morita or Ibuka. And the people have spoken. We are going with Morita.
Wholesome.
Don't worry, Ibuka bros. We got some treats for you at the end. For my Ibuka bros.
Yes. The Yoshiko events in this part of the game are example of eating humble pie, and not in a good way. It's not funny in any way, shape, or form.
We built Morita. I love Sony. Like Co. Looks very healthy right now.
20 seats already, dang.
Not too bad, not too shabby. We should make a declared independence trophies. Oh, we need more product interest. We can get over 80%.
Go, go, go!
How many days left into the yeah, get on that.
Screw the Chinese. They already hate you
Chinese
enough.
already hate me. It's fine. They'll like me. They'll like me more later. This is also a new one that I haven't seen before.
We can probably squeeze in one more quality decision if you want to do that.
Yeah, I just need a little bit more political power. Oh, I got some production units. Where did those come from?
Morta's saying that Matsuzawa seems a little bit better, because Matsuzawa, at the end of the day, is competent, just saddled with a terrible situation, and there are ways that that Sony can make things work or otherwise fall into traps along this path.
Wait, that's a new icon. I haven't seen that. That's great.
Workers working. I love these icons. My God, my dad.
It's literally like a fucking skyscraper.
We have negative real growth and our debt keeps going up.
It's great. I love Guangdong. It's everything's fine. Don't worry. At least the deficit will be removed when your product's released because you've gone all in on that.
At least we have a radio. I mean,
Everything
a
is
TV.
fine. Let's get one more interest.
We have enough time, actually. Oh,
Yeah.
you do. Easy.
It'd be really funny if I didn't. Alright.
Alright, you can either slow down the collapse or you can do that and take note of the warning.
Yeah, let's just slow down and
Welfare
collapse a little
is
bit.
not cheap.
We don't need welfare.
A Hong Kong XP after all. Alright, regarding my earlier statement with 21 pieces of localization, that isn't 2100 events. That's 2100 pieces of events, national spirits, focuses, which are all written, and others. The remaining 700 are mostly events because we've already cleared out most of the other things that are in the way.
But that's still 700 events. Can non-Asian companies enter Guangdong? No, that is not in the plan. No.
Ooh, more research speed. Hog. Incredible. Look at this. Brilliant product cycle. Despite everything.
The clutch of the century.
They said it couldn't be done.
Never bet against Sony.
I love it. Just a little teeny screen on your dashboard. 2 more Lyco seats for Sony. Incredible.
Alright. Oveha is back. Somebody was asking how finished the TT3 is, or TT unfinished business. Care to try to explain that?
Yeah, so right now, TT3 is split between a few minor teams. There's a little bit of scripted content that still needs to be finished, but I think that's like the least amount of work. I'm pretty sure that can be like finished in a week or so. And as for other stuff, like we're currently working on like I mentioned before, the doctrinary work. We also have a little bit of tech overhauling, like the civilian tech, which shouldn't be too much because that's already planned out. We have the numbers, we just need to implement it, and we need the tech art. Speaking of which, please apply to the tech team if you want to speed up development, because tech art is very important for this. And besides that, that's like the most technical thing. Like we need to test it out. We need to make sure that there's no blatant exploits to it. We need to balance it and all that. We aim to have it like implemented in like 2 weeks, and we'll probably be testing it throughout August. And I'm not going to like give you an estimate of when we plan to release. We do have a release window right now, but I'm not going to publicly state it because if in case we don't meet that release window, everybody's going to be like TT win, like last year. But yeah, we have like a release plan right now. Besides the tech stuff, like the big, I would say like tech stuff makes up like 60% of current TT work. that we need to finish. And like the other smaller half that remains is proxy work, and that should be like about it. Besides, obviously, Russia work, which I'm not really sure where it stands. Scoot knows more about that than I do, but Scoot told me that it's like in a good footing. Already several sections of Russia, I think the Far East and Central Siberia, are already finished. So we need to like have West Siberia and uh, West Russia done. And besides that, like we need to finish up proxy work, which I'm in charge of. Right now, we're like Colombia is progressing really well. Like we got some really good concepts working on that. I'm personally working on Hispaniola. Like that's progressing a bit slower than I would like, but I'm taking care of it. Like the biggest obstacle to its development was that last week I caught COVID, so I was like in bed for most of the week, so I couldn't progress in anything really. Um, I'm better now, so things are progressing, and we also have some like we still need to polish and test the French reclamation. We also have like the West African reconstruction, which is actually finished, and we still need to test that though. I haven't actually put up any tests for it because I still need to hook up like two things that I forgot to do. I haven't taken the time to do it in like 2 months by now, so I should probably get around to that. And well, yeah, besides that, like the remaining 10% of works, like um, things that aren't like mechanically heavy but are still important for our goals, which are the social tab in the econ screen, which you actually saw at the beginning on the stream, which is empty at the moment. We have a mock-up, and so we still need to figure out how we are going to work on that. And also, we need to finish up the opening screen because, like, if you notice at the beginning of the screen, we already showed you like the text part of the opening screen, but we actually plan to have an icon tab in the opening screen, and also all the other stuff like Discord links, no, that or social media links, like we already have in the other former opening screen, and tutorials. I think we wanted to do some tutorials, but I'm not sure if we are actually going to put that off. I'll leave it like a doubt on that. I think that's about. Yeah, also the ending screen. Like we want to rework the ending screens to be to look closer to the opening screens. But that work shouldn't take us that long. Like we want to finish it so we can have it like ready for the TT3 stream that we plan to do in at the beginning of August. Oh yeah, and also speaking of that, like USA stuff also needs to finish up, but that's in like really good footing to be finished. Mango is working on that and doing really awesome work. Like I have no doubts on Mango's quality of work and his work ethic. So all that stuff should be handled like I would say like in a month we would be like in good footing to not to release but at least to like begin polishing everything out for release. And so shouldn't take us that much longer to release unfinished business. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff left, but we're working on it as fast as we can. Thankfully, I'm in vacation right now. I think a lot of team members are right now in summer vacation. I'm in winter vacation because I'm in the southern hemisphere. Um, but yeah, pretty much we're we're we're, we're advancing pretty well uh, to towards a goal for release. So
Love to
things
hear
are
it.
looking fine, and also the patches are progressing on their own. in parallel. So they should some stuff should release on not the patches, but some minor stuff should release while you wait for patches, which shouldn't take that longer, considering that they are progressing well on site.
All right. Well, we have another option for Twitch chat to decide.
It was a scam the companies.
So
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Let's
Right.
get a little context, right? Like Yasuda's dead.
Yasuda's
So
dead
the
in the
question is,
water.
you're auctioning off all their assets to whoever's left, which is Sony, Matsushita, and Fujitsu. And you have the option of whether to do it fairly or to skim a little bit off the top for the government.
So Twitch chat, you decide. What are we doing? Do we know how to make the poll for that? Is that something we can do, or are we just?
You can make like Twitch polls, but I don't know how to do them actually. Yeah, that's just you need to be like partner to do that,
Okay.
and that's cringe.
That's cringe.
Just all right.
All right, just which one's winning? Top it off, or no more, no less?
It's pretty equal right now. Should I flip it? Oh, okay. We just
It really is
we
seesawing.
okay, we can allow top it off right now. There's a lot of people that want to scam Sony.
All right, we're scamming Sony then.
Yeah. So another question I saw was that there's only 3 paths in the Yasuda crisis, but there's 4 paths on the roadmap, and that's because the 4th path is Hitachi, the 4th electronics company. But they aren't strong enough to take power during the Yasuda crisis. They have to do their own a bit of trickery to actually take power, which you'll see if we tease it someday or when Guangdong will release.
Yeah, you don't get to Hitachi immediately. That is not the first way into a Guangdong game.
Alright. Another question is that
It's dead.
is there any systematic opposition in Guangdong to like the companies, like any planned opposition?
At the start of the game, not really. What dissident nationalist groups were left after the Second World War were, on top of already having China get beaten to the ground by the Japanese, that they were hunted down. There was a larger military presence in Guangdong as it was being set up in the late 40s and early 50s, and so that's largely been eradicated or forced underground. Because of 20 years of quote-unquote peace, systematic opposition at the beginning of the game is tamped down. That's not saying that resistance can't rise up later, that you're looking at the regions of Guangdong. It's already a huge undercurrent of organized crime. That's I guess the logical outcome. Like, if you're not against the government but you're not with it, well, then what do you do to make a living? You either go with the system or you find ways to subvert it, and that's also going to be something that you deal with throughout a game.
Alright.
We have another TT3 thing, the Serbian Civil War. This is new. We're not going to look at it though. Europe doesn't exist.
Alright, if you've seen the progress bar with Suzuki Succession, that's a bit bugged, but that's just because hard code and stuff. What's important is that the variables work. The graphics, who cares?
Yeah, when I played through that, it didn't seem very bugged. It actually seems pretty set up correctly.
No, you see that Matsushita has 15% when Yes actually have 25% on the bar.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's an adjustment that needs to be made.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you spot when you are a coder compared to when you're a writer, and probably vice versa when it comes to writing as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, this is why we have a split team leadership.
Yeah, Guangdong working on the split team formula with me doing holding the code work and Kuzunoha holding the design and writing work is partially why we are a lot ahead compared to the other countries of the other patches, and also why we can bring on stream.
So Europe is falling apart right now, but we're not paying attention to Europe today. Today is Asia.
it is somewhat hilarious how much when you do a Guangdong stream, you spend so much time in the decision categories and the GUIs that you do. It is very easy to lose sight of the world around you, which is going to be it's another sign that it's it's an insular game, but B also like you're gonna have your hands full with Guangdong, and then you're gonna look up at the end of the game and realize, oh wow, Asia's changed in 10 years.
Yeah,
And
Guangdong.
that's going to be one of the realizations you have at the end of the game.
Guangdong is very much it's very insular, which makes it very not Hearts of Iron 4 like. You basically just fiddle around with your own little country and your own little mechanics, and then you kind of like forget that you're actually playing Hearts of Iron, and then everything is on fucking fire.
And when you do play Hearts of Iron, we are deliberately making you do really stupid things like send your troops into mountains unprepared.
That looks like the Republic won in the Philippines above Pan-Asianism.
Yes, Morita is offering Matsuzawa a deal. He's offering to take on Yasuda employees, if only if Matsuzawa will make sure that the best Yasuda assets go to Sony. Yeah, sure, but you're gonna have to pay for it. The Dino Star had a good question. What's the most popular sport within the sphere? Good question. If you take the alternate history, Japanese imperialism to its logical endpoint, it might actually be baseball. Because baseball remains, even through the wartime period, baseball was still played in Japan. A lot of terms were changed to not use English, but that didn't stick around very long. And to this day, Korea, Taiwan, and Japan all have baseball as probably some of the most popular sports there, and soccer, football, depending on where in the world you are, aren't necessarily the most popular sports. To a degree, you might have seen that important to other areas of the sphere. Certainly with Europe and as much of a shambles as it is, not certain how to think about football playing out in Asia, at least at this point in time. Cricket is, well, we talked about the British, namely that they're not around anymore.
Alright, so Yasuda is gone. Crabgrave. They're gonna be done in a few more days.
Oh yeah, Ukraine exploded. Don't you work on Ukraine, Lily?
I do work in Ukraine, and we are not paying attention to Europe today. So
Awesome.
I'm crying on the inside that I can't show it off to you, but we teased it a little bit. Oh goodness. Okay, Moscow just exploded.
Yeah, this usually incurs a huge lag spike, no matter where you are on Earth, sadly.
Moscow is too powerful.
That's a lot of war declarations.
Yeah, you click on a lot of things in November from like October to the end of 1963.
Alright, but now that I think that you can swap over to look at the secession decision category. Oh, never mind. It hasn't been outshared yet. I gotta wait a minute for that. There.
Yeah, now it's coming in. For a price.
You scammed him.
Well, we got lots of liquid reserves, though.
Now you can pay down the debt that you just took on.
Here's me.
Now we're going through this on deliberately trying to get Morita through this, but if you decide to mix and match, I mean, there are certain circumstances where you might have equal weighting for people to become the next chief executive, and we have built-in logic to account for that, and you will see that in the event where we actually the new chief executive is chosen. We don't think it's likely. Most people will know how to beeline their preferred chief executive, but in the case that people do not know that, or they're trying to find a way around, we have accounted for that and built in logic to try to make sure that that doesn't screw up your game.
Yeah, Yasuda is fucking gone.
The
Troll face.
the bar looks better now.
Yeah, it's fixed. I don't know why it's fixed itself, but you know what? That makes me happy.
Alright, so we're gonna have another question for Twitch chat here in a second. So basically all the poor people in Japan are coming here, and
Well, not like they aren't poor people. It's more like the investors who are kind of like running away because everyone has lost their fucking money.
So do we let them in, or do we troll the Japanese a little bit?
You troll the Japanese.
So Twitch chat, it's up to you. Do we troll the Japanese, or do we let them in?
What they want to troll them? That's a lot of trolling that they desire. Yeah, that's like 80% trolling.
Alright, we're gonna be doing a little bit of trolling then. Japan's not gonna be too happy with us.
And just so that everyone's clear, I think it might have been brought up a few times, at least in the subreddit. Sony is not your wholesome Chinese nationalism 100% path. No, it is still explicitly going to be happily a corpo state. They believe in capitalism with a human face, but it's still not anything that we would remotely consider to be Chinese or Chinese nationalist or, broadly acceptable or recognizable to what we would see as, modes of governance in real life. So they're not wholesome 100%. They're just the best out of a slate of bad options.
Yeah, they're very much alike to Hong Kong today. Even if it had its not like today, more accurately Hong Kong in the around 80s. Even after all of the British civil service reforms, it's still a very unequal state that does. Keep its hierarchy of peoples and also works for corporate interests. So, like, you can live in it, but it won't be nice, and it'll probably be it'll still be dominated by an elite of people.
Yeah, it's livable, but it's the inequalities are there. It's just the people who are doing the unequal stuff has changed a little bit. You live. Okay. Could you dream of more? And the answer is absolutely yes.
Well, he wants to see Europe, but we're just not gonna show it to him.
We're not looking at Europe.
Sorry, today is Asia Hour.
Alright, this is the little public order sub branch because you're gonna like to have to deal with the fact that the entire police force kind of disappeared and died, and also your entire country is corrupt.
I wonder how that could have happened. Alright, I believe in the police force. I believe in the police force.
Yeah, I'll let the police have this one. Even though you have to pay more for it and add on to your rising debt levels.
It's called we do a little bit of trolling. My debt's going down. A sharp decrease here.
Yeah, because you scammed Sony.
Yes,
I'm also running a surplus right now. $1 billion a year.
that will help, yes.
I just realized that literally a sixth of your budget is just paying down your debt. That's great.
Okay.
Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. It's over. And now we have real GDP growth again, so we're gonna run a little bit of a deficit.
We are working on figuring out interactions between.
No, do the other
Mexcio
one.
and-
You have money. You have the money to spend.
I don't want to spend all the money. Okay.
The corruption, though, the thing.
We need the corruption gone.
The relationship between Moritakyo and Li Ka-shing is a completely fictional, but B has been one of the more one of the pieces that I've enjoyed writing the most in this mod, and we were taking some notes, I guess, from historical fiction. And I guess corporate boardroom shenanigans. I was trying to explore that. Will there be a falling out? They will not always see eye to eye, and you'll see that in their tree. But they've been through a lot, the two of them, since the 1950s. So exploring that and what the two of them have to go through to get what they want is going to be something you'll continually be exploring. If you want fallout and drama, I think you'll actually be much more happy looking at Ibuka's path, where we explore his fallout with Morita since the 1950s in a lot more detail.
Alright, so another question, but this is more something that we can explain. What's the relationship between the Yakuza and the Triads?
Well, how to put it this way? I mean, well, they're largely working at cross purposes with each other. The Triads as a criminal organization have existed long before the Japanese, long before the British, and even back when the Qing Empire was still around. And they continue to try to exert as much control over the underworld and criminal activity as they can. But the Yakuza have been bustling in. They've taken advantage of Guangdong essentially being a free port for Japanese capital on the mainland, and they're using that to build up their activities there. And obviously, that leads the two of them to be at loggerheads more often than not.
Are the Triads prevalent in China, and are the Yakuza prevalent in Japan?
You have to assume yes. I mean, the trying to explore this or make it into a game mechanic isn't something that's been pursued so far in China and Japan. I mean, those aren't being reworked right now. So, I mean, the answer is yes, but you're not going to see it in the games.
Alright, we're gonna talk to Chen Kong. Because Morita likes him a little bit more.
Yeah, you're gonna see that entire bar go from red to pink.
Do Guangdong, Guangxi, and Hainan interact? That's a good question. We are looking at some pretty fun things that can be done there. It may not be, because broader China is not yet fully in scope for a rework, and we're not staging those two together. Like, you'll have seen the most recent leak. You can see it on our Reddit and on our, I think on the community Discord, that yes, there are changes coming to China, big changes. But right now we aren't able to fully work around those, as right now development is not proceeding at the same pace. But yeah, we absolutely want to explore that, because that's going to be really fun once we get around to it. More broadly, yes, we want to explore it. No, that may not be explored fully in time for release, and our goal is to make sure that we can get this internal game playable completely, as quickly as possible.
Wow, the 1964 Winter Olympics is a success.
All
Awesome.
that in just 3 months?
Ow. Alright, now now the last couple of epilogue events should pop up when you're done with the focus, and then it swaps the focus tree.
And Matsuzawa goes into the sunset. Nothing to do. 4 companies become 5.
Check the Letco. Yeah, they updated. That's awesome. I love that. So yeah, that's a Letco that we leaked in the stream announcement, where it swaps from the original 4 to 5.
And Guangdong's getting back on its feet. This should be an event for the Li family, and they're able to get back to work. They've not starved or faced the kind of dislocation they had at the start of the stream, but still not a pleasant life. Cheung Kong is having its day in this limelight. Yes, Rattler. We may be able to reveal it someday. We do have internal snappy one sentence taglines for all the paths here, and yeah, I mean it gets worse.
Yeah,
it gets much worse.
Hitachi very much is built on reform bureaucracy, which is a very well planned and very oppressive exploitation of the Chinese.
I love reform bureaucracy. I love
Same.
Kishi. I love the Manchurian state.
People are asking when's the earliest time that Hitachi can take power. That's to be announced, but we're gonna get some decent playtime out of them. That's what I can say.
Yep, and Officer Lam, Officer Hayashi tried to go home. Turns out no one likes a bootlicker. And his Yaskawa is settling in, not as a rich person anymore. Didn't work out for her.
There's a lot of event. Guangdong does have some periods where there's like relatively few events, but then when action happens, it happens. Like as can be seen here.
We have included some choice Cantonese swears in there. Only of you might be familiar with the four-letter expression DLLM.
It's always awkward. There's like a weird space between the things happening. But yeah, that's mostly just to ensure that the pace is somewhat relevant, and also I think it's because you did a
that's a new one.
Prime Minister of Sweden assassinated. Wow, if only we were looking over at Europe right now.
Oh, the Haze box is gonna be the last event, I think. Yeah, that's the logic that we explained before, how it works, but it's not necessary right now. As you know, Morita is winning significantly.
Yeah, we got.
And there you have it.
There he is.
So the new chief
Sony
executive.
gang.
Oh, he's soying.
He's soying so much.
He's soying in this one.
Oh yeah, you see his cabinet. You see Stanley Ho, that beautiful man in the economy minister slot, because you work with the triads.
So we got Li Ka-shing here, Matsushita, Sammy Ho, and then we have Omori Khan.
Omori.
It'll take a little bit while for the focus tree update. You need a follow-up event.
Yeah, it's the Haze box event. It should be in here in any moment.
Everyone in Morita's cabinet is the corporate paternalism sub-ideology.
Yeah, and there you have it. The status of Guangdong evolves to the Silicon Years. The Silicon Years is the name for the 1964 to 1970 do what the fuck you want zone, where you are free to mold Guangdong in your vision. And then now comes the big reveal. Press that select the national focus button and zoom the fuck out.
Zoom all the way out.
This is all of Guangdong's country from 1964 to 1970. Shall we start from the left and slowly explain what each sub-branch does?
Or do you want to start at the top here?
Okay, we've already leaked those 4 initial
This
focuses.
isn't leaked, but that's your introduction into Guangdong.
You have the
right-hand side is left-hand side is the econ, and here you're going to be consistently balancing grow faster or actually cut the Chinese and the Jujian a deal and be nice to them. You still have to make the Japanese happy somehow, and so it's all about trade-offs.
You can hover some effects, hover off stability and off excellence. Those introduce the Lecco builds. You can see how comically huge the focus effects get when you have to detail everything. So to make it sure that the player knows what to do. Most of these builds are separated in a Morita preferred way or a Lee preferred way, with the Morita preferred way usually incurring more growth, with the Lee preferred way usually incurring more benefits for the Chinese people. But it's easier to pass the Morita bill because Chong Kong makes a smaller part of the Legislative Council.
By contrast, if you go with Chong Kong, you do get a little bit more benefit on the side of the underlying, I guess, benefits from the demographics, but you're going to have to push a lot harder on the product cycle and make sure that succeeds in order to get the economic growth that you need to meet your targets.
Yeah, look at those. I love the pink icons. It's like press on an economy of opportunity. Just look at that. It's like a small Morita and a small Lee cutout. That's great. I love it so much. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we've really finally been able to start getting to the color coding of these of the paths, and they are beautiful. And go to the top of that branch and look at the one of the one with the cube. It's amazing.
I love the Sujin cube. Alright, let's go to the right. That's the solvency tree right there. Try to explain that, Kuzunoha.
Yeah, that's the fiscal tree. So I mean, obviously, you don't want Guangdong to get in the red ever again, like it just went through. So you're gonna have to try to do some things to improve your tax revenue or how to make money. Obviously, not all of these steps are going to be popular with the Lechko. So figuring out when to take these steps is going to be a key issue for your game.
And then you have the fiscal independence. And all of the ordinance focuses for Morita are done, which I'm very glad for. They all look extremely nice. But look at that. I love the neon. You can also try hovering some effects if you want to see the different paths that people can take to try to, fix the plumbing. Differences here is do you want to make it so that people don't evade taxes, or do you want to actually make them pay for the taxes? If you want to make them pay taxes, that makes some people a bit unhappy because tax havens don't incur taxes often, but it will be more efficient for the long term and will help put Guangdong on solid footing. Oh yeah,
the Twitch states. Yeah, we have plans for those. We're not revealing those yet.
Yeah. One of the Twitch mods, Mato, actually made some of these icons. It's very cool. Special shoutouts to everyone who's been working on them, especially Ariandel from the TNO team.
Ariandel has been amazing. They have made so many of these in the last few days, and we're so enthused to be able to show these off to you.
Yes. You can go to the middle branch now. That's the capitalism with a human face.
That is a socialism.
Socialism.
It is not socialism. I'm sorry. It is capitalism with a human face. And how nice do you want to be to people?
Yeah. So I really like the health crisis pet tree, mostly because it really explains Guangdong well. Do you want to try to actually fix the pollution issue, or 2, deal with the more pressing issue of people killing themselves because they hate working in Guangdong? And the suicide trees has some hard hitting events, what can you say. great.
Yeah, not all the flags are final. Not all the icons are final. We do have this one have at least placeholder images in. As you can see, we're getting some really good ones in, and we're gonna try to get more in.
None of the icons that are made for Guangdong aren't final. I just pop them in so that the tree looks more presentable, and it also fixes my OCD, so that's great. The other tree right next to it, the health crisis. That's the meaning of work. Do you want to like make a labor standards ordinance, but one that actually does something in the comparison to Suzuki's one? So do you want to one ensure that people actually don't die when they work, or two want to make sure that they get paid well and actually have a future? Kinda when they work, you like open up a basic pension fund, you give basic unemployment benefits, and you actually pay them livable wages. But you can get both.
Thinking being, it would make no sense for Sony to be the only one paying people better wages, because that's just asking for Ibuka and Fujitsu to eat your lunch. But if the government says everyone has to, you know, it's not a problem if everyone has to do it.
Yeah. All right. You can scroll down a bit, and then you have investing in the future and also the present. You have human capital and the very Japanese-dominated civil service, which can be seen in that icon made by Mato. So this is like the real big one for Guangdong, because if you can pass the civil service ordinance, you can actually make Cantonese a official language of Guangdong instead of it only being Japanese. That way you can really uplift those Sujins who are helping your state and actually integrate them into society, and not on paper not make them a lower class, make them de jure equal.
And a lot of that one is going to people who are looking to Hong Kong's history will look familiar to the Macklehoser Horms that took place in the 1970s, that started the process of more actively embracing Cantonese and Chinese and the local Chinese population into the government. But that's not to say that it was ever equal. I mean, you see the two options there. Full localization comes with caveats, and a trusted core, which means that you're still going to maintain a core of Japanese educated and trained bureaucrats, much like British Hong Kong did right up until handover in 1997.
And then the branch right next to it is human capital, where you can either try to fix the fact that the only schools in Guangdong are for Japanese and are underfunded, or you can actually try to build more housing, because living in a densely built place like Hong Kong was IRL sucks. It's very expensive, and it has horrible living conditions. Kuzunoha can elaborate on that because they live with that present every day.
Yeah, I mean, well,
And confirm.
I mean, that's the thing. And let's be clear. Like, the Hong Kong of the present is known for really terrible housing conditions and housing prices. 40 years ago, there were squatter communities, slums on Hong Kong Island, not that far away and within walking distance from, say, the Central Business District. You can see pictures of them if you go look it up. And so, it's like, you are looking at a place that is defined by extreme levels of inequality. It still is now, but if you look at, say, Hong Kong, but like here, the question is, people are living in makeshift housing because the government doesn't provide anything, and the private sector is only going to provide for those with the means. It's been a crisis in OTL Hong Kong in the 1960s, and it sure as hell is a crisis now for TNO.
On the topic of housing, many people are asking again if the Kowloon walled city is in Guangdong, and will it be represented in localization?
The answer is yes, it is. We look forward to showing that. Actually, we got an event written for that. We're not going to be able to show it here, but yes, we do.
We also have the entire branch with the Lion Rock spirit, which is Lion Rock. That's very close to Hong Kong. Can you actually explain why?
So, and all names can back me up here. So, I think it was a drama television drama in the 1970s, 1980s. It's extremely popular, titled I think The Lion Rock Spirit, and it became it still remains pop culture mainstay, or at least one of those part of the Hong Kong cultural memory, where it was a show that focused very much on ordinary people and ordinary lives in Hong Kong, and importantly, not those of the well-to-be. And it's contributed to this, I guess, popular conception in Hong Kong that it is defined by trying to make do, by trying to get by, and trying to succeed against the odds. How true that is an ongoing subject debate in both British Hong Kong and modern Hong Kong. But the phrase "Lion and Rock Spirit" is something that is consciously part of what I understand is the Hong Kong cultural lexicon, and is something that, as per Morida's focus here in TNO, and would be that by the end of it, you are going to start looking at something that resembles and tries to look at, I guess, the social issues that exist in our timelines, Hong Kong, with all the problems that come with it. But that is part of the conscious design for this path.
All right, you can move a bit to the right, if you want to, and this is gonna be the last path, the last branch. Sorry, the security branch, because as you know, Guangdong is kind of corrupt and also very unstable, and also has a large problem with crime. So the left branch, that's some plans to root out corruption, Guangdong, which will end in you being able to create the independent commission against corruption or other types of advisory boards. You can hover over an independent commission down there, which will give you an option of one of 3 ordinances you can try to pass, and depending on which one you pass, you'll be getting an event chain to try to root out the corruption of Guangdong. How well that will go for you, it depends on how well the bill has passed.
Yeah, this particular branch of the tree is going to have a lot more in the way of event chains, so we look forward to showing those off to you. There are ways that this can actually not go in your favor.
Yes, and then you also have the middle branch, which is professionalizing the police and making sure that the police actually does something and is not complete garbage, which is definitely a start, where you try to make it so that the police actually know how to engage and can actually become independent enough that you can tell the Kempetai or Colonel Miyazaki Kiyotaka to frig off and make it so that the police force can operate independently of the Kempetai, which is great. And the last branch is probably my favorite in the security tree. It's you and Stanley Ho conspiring against the Yakuza to try and monopolize Stanley Ho's reign over the different casinos of Macau, where you want to get this casino license, which can be seen in the focus below, where if you get it, it'll be of great benefit to both the Triad and to Marita and the Skulls. But it can backfire as well.
Yeah, that is an event chain that is a lot of fun. Was a lot of fun to write, and so that's one that's going to be very exciting for you to have you guys play through.
That's basically it. That's 6 years of Marita. You can you can hover the Dare Stream Focus if you want to. That's the something that we did a lot of work on in Guangdong was to add these tooltips that don't have any effects, but that's a nice flavor, like a new day dawns in Guangdong, where color coding is of vital essence. It makes it so that every focus feels a bit more alive, even though you basically just press the button in Hard Survivor 4 and waited for like 14 to 30 days. Guangdong does have content for 70 to 72, but we aren't going to show it off today. Yeah, that's basically it. Do we have some final comments?
Oh yeah, I just found a song based off of Lion Rock. I'll just post it in chat, I guess.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be that.
Oh wait, you're sharing it? No, nothing. All right. So, do we have any last statements, or do you have any last questions?
Long-term stability. Yeah, I mean, sure, in that there is some more localization, yes. In terms of, however, I guess corporate capture, that's not going to change all that much. I think one of the things that you will that we're going to try to show through some of the events, and what will come more clear come the end game, is that it is a big world that revolves around Morita and Lee and the two men alone. That's not a good thing. It was not an equal or equitable society by any means. It's just less unequal than it was before. The other paths can be somewhat sustainable. There are ways that this is approached, and yeah, I would say yes. On paper, Morita's looks sustainable because it is closest to the path that British Hong Kong took in the 1970s. But there are a lot of ways a colonial regime can sustain itself, and Morita is just one way that happens. Narratively, actually, Opion, I'm gonna hand it over to you because I'm a bit too close to all the past to actually have say much. What's your favorite narrative path?
Well, as a whole, it's probably Morita's path because the prospect of changing your entire of changing this entire monolith that's garbage and doesn't work at all is, of course, is a massive undertaking with a lot of difficulty. But I'm a sucker for good paths. I've played like the Geo4 Spear path like 5 times. Or like, not a sucker for good paths, sucker for reforming bad to something livable is probably the better way to say it. But yeah, I love the concept. But personality-wise, my favorite character in Guangdong is probably Ibuka, just because we haven't shown it yet, but he's probably one that can experience the most personal growth of all of the major characters that we are going to showcase in Guangdong.
Yeah, the amount of plotting and characterization that's gone into Ibuka's path is insane, and it really speaks well to the designer that they were able to make that happen. I don't want to sell Matsushita short either at all. I mean, I think what's interesting about Matsushita is that the fact that his play is personal in a very different way. That it speaks to the concentration of power in one person and their dreams alone, and it's all about them. What they do isn't necessarily all about them, but seeing how that plays through and why Matsushita takes the actions that he does is something that's actually, if not relatable, it is a story that is worth telling, and one that, at least from the sources that we've sourced, actually played out to a degree in real life. And so one that's actually, we thought would be very interesting to tell for Guangdong, where Matsushita Masaharu has a much bigger playing field than he ever would have in real life.
Alright,
Hello.
This is my boss. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Lamunia. I am the main programmer for the mod. I'm also the lead for the Reich region. I saw a question in chat right now, someone asking about nuclear content, if there's a Chernobyl event, and someone said it might happen in Borman. I just want to say, no, we're not doing a Chernobyl XP with Borman. In general, we're trying to get off the USSR XPs with the patch.
Alright. Great. They want you to talk about football in Europe.
It exists. Very cool.
Some badass.
It's actually a bit funny because IRL, I think each Reichskommissariat had their own soccer league. I know the general government had their own separate from Germany itself. It's actually quite funny.
Alright. People ask how the oil crisis will affect Guangdong, and I'm just gonna say that having a second economic crisis in a decade is not very good for the stability of a region. Yeah, it isn't shown off here, but things will happen. Right. Let's see. Is there any? Could Guangdong support Japan in other wars besides proxy wars besides Malaya? Yeah. Which ones? There will to be announced, but Indonesia is a definite one. Guangdong will not be able to control China if China fails to reform. Guangdong will only have its little territory. Maybe it'll expand if like Guangxi, if form like a Liang Wang thing, if Long Yun loses. But that's completely out of planning and an edge case above edge cases we just aren't thinking about.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
no
not
Sony China, no way.
No way. All right, they're asking about Burgundy borders in CC3. You need to red pill them, Lamunia.
Yeah, they're coming in TT3, the ones that were showing the teaser. We teased the starting borders previously, and the new post Burgundian War borders are in the French teaser, the one with the French Civil War. They're not the same as the current starting ones. They're a bit smaller.
Yeah, there's also a there's a rework for Indonesia plan, which is something people are asking for. All right, I think that's it. I think we've reached the schedule. It's been 3 hours of talking. Do you have any closing statements?
I just want to get this out the door so we can get people playing it. Honestly, seeing people reacting to TNO and the content that we create is what gets us through the hard times in dev. And so really your support and your favor for what we do keeps us going as a volunteer mod. And so I'm really happy for everyone who decided to come and ask questions today. And hope you stay tuned for TT3, for LATAM reveals, and for Europe and Russia, because we got a whole bunch of content that's going to be great, and that our team is dying to show you. And so thanks for sticking by with us for this long. Stick with us for a little bit longer, and Guangdong will be coming to you. You've seen that we are in a good place with Guangdong. I hope you believe that, and we believe that we can tell you it's coming soon. We really do have that coming soon, and it's going to be real for us. And for TT, I'm really, we're OPAsian will have something coming down the line for you guys as well. And so stick around for that.
Yeah. I'll post the full focus tree as a leak in a hot minute, and I'll also. Oh, wait! This is actually the one thing that I completely forgot to do. Before that, first of all, there's going to be a VOD on the YouTube channel soon, and we know that with Morita, we kind of showed off his entire focus tree. Which is a lot of things, especially compared to what's called the other chief executives. So we kind of decided that maybe we should give a bit of treat to the path that is just behind in the vote, which was. Ibuka. As I said, I really like him a lot. He's very cool. So I need to find the icons. Shit. I don't have them on hand. But yeah, we decided to make it so that because Ibuka got second place, that we leak some of the icons that the user Chun has made for him. So, yeah, give me a second.
Hop on over to our Discord. It'll be up on the subreddit as well. You'll be able to see them.
When are we showing off the Shinomiya conglomerate bat?
Literally, that's actually the Guangdong fail state that you aren't see coming. Okay, that's the icons. Ibuka has a very, very distinctive art style. There's a lot of blue, and a lot of brains, and a lot of computers, and it's what makes him so awesome. It's partially why he's so awesome, in my opinion. Yeah, that's my closing statement. Play Guangdong when it comes out. Stay hyped for the more content to come, and I'm glad that you followed us here, and you like to watch us ramble for 3 hours, even with all the technical difficulties we faced.
Right, and do not forget, one last time, the art contest is going on. 2 weeks, don't forget to get your submissions in.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks for dialing in, everybody. Have a good day.
We'll see you soon.
Or morning. Bye.
See ya. Play Borman.